Well, she said, I know what she told me
As I
today.
say
She
that,
said
I'm not
yours is already
bragging
taken
because
care of.
next meeting,
Yeah, yours
something's
is
gonna come
yours
up
is
and I
you
won't
and
be
the
here.
He's probably
Yeah.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
very
definitely.
important.
he's probably at the convention center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just convention center.
Okay.
It's with him all the time.
Okay, that's what it said. So I just gotta figure out. And then the late registration is $500 something. So I'm really debating. I don't really want to work, and I don't really want to spend the extra $100 something either.
Well, I understand. I remember those
On Friday. I'll be Friday.
decisions.
Friday and Saturday.
Right.
Costello, how you doing, man? Two thumbs up.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Saturday.
Absolutely.
10 o'clock. Oh, that's the ball.
Classes stop like at noon pretty much.
No.
Yeah, I can imagine, you know, what's going on. What about that?
Hey, Josh, how you doing, bro? All right.
All right, good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Anson County Board of Commissioners. I want to welcome everyone who's in attendance and also everyone who may be watching on our live stream. We're going to begin our night with our invocation, and so I'm going to ask Reverend Amy Lambert of United Methodist Church to come forward.
Good evening, and thank you for the chance to stand before you and pray over this gathering. My name is Reverend Amy Lambert, and I serve at First United Methodist Church, Wadesboro, Morven United Methodist, and Pleasant Hill United Methodist, and as the director of Anson County Cooperative Parish, which is a collection of 7 churches that hope to do good here in our community. So thank you for this moment. Let us pray. Holy One, you are the creator and sustainer of all things under the heavens. In the beginning of creation, you blessed us to be good stewards of this beautiful and wonderful world, not to destroy or to diminish, but to preserve and amplify the flourishing of all creation. Open our eyes to see the beauty of Anson County. Give us a vision of hope to make choices that promote a thriving and healthy and prosperous community. Open our ears to hear the voices of our people and give us the courage to respond through kind and loving action. Open our hearts to see the needs of our community and to lead with faithful compassion, fairness, and integrity. Holy Spirit, come. Holy Spirit, come and fill this place. Bless all of our government officials and give them the wisdom of your Holy Spirit as they serve the people of Anson County. Grant them discernment when their path is difficult, courage when decisions are hard, and humility to listen to one another and to the people they have been entrusted to serve. Help this commission to work together with respect and unity. May their disagreements never become greater than their commitment to the well-being of Anson County. Remind them that leadership is not about power or position, but about service, responsibility, and the common good. Guide their decisions that they may bring hope to those who are struggling and protection to those who are most vulnerable. May their words be spoken with grace, their actions guided by wisdom, and their decisions reflect justice, mercy, and love. We pray this in the name of Jesus Christ, who is both our Savior and our friend. Amen.
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 Thank you, Reverend Lambert. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask Commissioner Leary if he will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Leary. All right, at this time, I'm going to read our ethics statement. So, in accordance with the State Government Ethics Act, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of conflict. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matter coming before the board tonight? If so, please identify the conflict and refrain from any undue participation in the particular matter involved. So, this time, are there any conflicts? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to approve. We have a second by Commissioner Little Reed. Any discussion on that?
Yes. Can we table item 2A until the next meeting, just for the fact that we didn't receive the minutes until late last night?
Okay, so you want to remove item 2A minutes. You want to table it to our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be in my motion to that.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve the agenda minus item 2A, which are the minutes, to give every member opportunity to review the minutes. So we have a motion by Commissioner Ellerby, second by Commissioner Little Reed. All in favor of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Well, excuse me. Also, Mr. Chairman, I'll need to leave about 7:15 to 7:20. Have another thing going on at 7:30. So,
Okay. Thank you for the notice.
We'll put that in the motion.
yes, please.
I make that motion.
Okay. A motion to excuse Commissioner Woodburn at 7:20.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
all right. So I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Woodburn at 7:20. Do we have a second?
Yes. Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Leary. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, moving down to our consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent items minus 2A.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Ellerby, second by Commissioner Gatewood for the consent agenda. Any discussion on those items? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion passes. All right, moving on to our appearances. First up, we have Anson Economic Development Corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Board of Commissioners, Mr. Sauceman, and I'd like to just start out with, I guess I'm going to be pretty brief unless there's questions, but it's been 5 months now since I've been here, and the first few months were trying to get ratcheted up to where we are today. We got some very exciting things happening. But to take you back a little bit, 5 months ago, we had 2 properties available that we can offer for sale in Anson County. And we had one kind of flex property and no buildings, other than we had one going up. So that's what we had. So the reason I say that is because every month we get about this many inquiries coming into Anson County for people looking for sites. And we've never had any. So that's why we didn't have anything. So what I started out doing, and I'll try to be brief on this. Please stop me if I go too far off tangent here, because this is some pretty exciting stuff to me. What I did was start putting together our sites. So as of right now, we have 10 sites available for offer for sale or lease. We have 9 sites that are what I call more flexible sites, meaning that these are owners that were willing to sell, but they'd like to actually see the property before anybody, or see the people who are looking at it before they want to allow them on their property and talk about their property. And we have 2, as of yesterday, we have 2 properties that we put offers in, industrial properties in Wadesboro. Anson AEDC has now put offers in on a couple of industrial properties for rehab. So it's getting me kind of exciting. This month, or I should say last month, the full complete month that we really started doing it, when properties came in now, instead of looking at the 2 properties and saying we don't have anything or they don't fit, now we go and look around Anson County, see what's out there. And we go contact the folks, and we've submitted. So last month we had 31 inquiries. That's 31 companies that had made inquiries to Anson County or the region, southeast region, to move here, move their companies here. Of those, we submitted 12 submittals. And those are our properties that we've accumulated. Most of them have been to the new building that we have. The other is the Wadesboro Industrial Park, but we've got several other properties that we are submitting to. Just a brief category of the 12 sites, for example, we had one here, 120 jobs, $30 million investment, average wage $80,000, which $80 million, I'm sorry. I mean $80,000, 30 million investment, which translated county revenue is $231,000 in revenue for Anson County. And it needed a 150,000 square foot building with at least 20-foot ceilings. And we were able to address or talk to the people at Walmart, the old Walmart building, and we submitted that. Now, among others, we've had another one that was 173 jobs, and the average wage was determined by the $40 million capital investment, and they're right now they're waiting to make their decision in the fourth quarter of this year. So, and there are 10 more of these like this. Now, that's not to say that they're going to come. Mind you, we are competing with the rest of the world, and we're competing. When they acquire us, they want to be within the southeast part of North Carolina. So we compete with about 20 or 19 other counties. But 3 months ago, we didn't have anything to compete with. Now we do. Now we do. Of the ones that we rejected, I want to give you an idea of, just briefly, it's one here, 150 jobs. And phase 2 was up to 500 jobs. And the problem is they need a 250,000 square foot building, and we don't have that. So we had to pass that by. And then another one was here is 30 to 40 jobs, $15 million investment, and the problem is we didn't have at the time we didn't have a 60 to 100,000 square foot building. This was the beginning of last month, with 24-foot ceilings. It wasn't available. So the reason I say that is that we just put an offer in on a couple properties. We are going to rehab these properties. We intend on constructing a 100,000 square foot building with 40-foot ceilings in Anson County, and through AEDC. And we believe we have the funding already to do it. And with that in mind, it also has a rail spur, which is rare. So now I believe we get this going, we are going to be a player in this. But it's going to take a little while. I mean, obviously you just don't to build these things real quick, but that's what we are intending to do. And that's, I think the next several months are going to be really exciting, as well as other inquiries that came up that as of this point we don't make public, but we got several other inquiries. I want to also let you know that we're moving our office. We are going from where we are now to the BB&T building, first floor, and just so you don't think that we are spending your money to get more luxury, we're actually getting less rent. We're saving about 20% on our rent, which is a much nicer place. So I think we'll enjoy that spot too. Last thing, our building is weeks away from completion. Now, put that in perspective. We don't pour the floors and we don't put the sprinkler in because we kind of tailor that to the potential customer. Some require thicker slabs, and some require, if you're working with metals, you need a certain type of sprinkler. If you're working with paper products or something like that, or food service, you need a different kind. So we don't put in a standard one and have to replace it. So we are going to be substantially complete by mid-September or earlier, other than those items. And when we find somebody interested, we will finish it relatively quickly because we have all the contractors lined up. Mr. Chairman, I think, other than questions, I think that's it for me. And, well, I want to say, I'd like to be back every 3 months if you guys want me, because I think we're coming into some pretty exciting times.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I have one question on the Shell building. Do you have a tenant, I guess, lined up, or where are we at in selling that building to a prospective company?
No, that's a lot of our inquiries when we submit them. We use the Shell building as the our submittal for completed buildings. Because you got to remember, we don't have a lot of completed buildings in
Yeah.
Anson County for sale. That Walmart building, yeah, okay, that's about it. So.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions from the board for AEDC?
Mr. Chairman, I
Yep.
do have a question.
Yes, sir.
And it's really a concern of many citizens in Anson County. It's regarding the closing of IGA, leaving us with only one full-service grocery store to serve the entire county. Can you give us an update, please, on your plans?
I would say, Commissioner Gatewood, you probably know more than I do on that. We will certainly help support that. We'll, if they want, we can put and market the building itself, but that, I think there's some talk about, or have been approached by some of the others like Ingalls and some of those folks to come in to Anson County. So, but I think I would recommend you talk with Nick or Len, because they probably know more. We deal a lot with industrial, although we're more than willing to help out whatever we can do with the commercial. I hope that answers that, tries to answer.
It really doesn't satisfy the citizens that I've
Yeah.
spoken to and that have called me regarding having only one grocery store to serve all of Anson County. What if something catastrophic happened? Earthquake, fire, tornado, hurricane, some other act of God, and that store is closed for 2 weeks. That puts citizens, a lot of citizens in our county, in a real bind. I would hope that as the Economic Development Director for Anson County, that you will do whatever you can to fill that void just as soon as possible. There's also concern about retail pricing. What is there to stop Food Line from jacking up prices and taking advantage of the citizens of Anson County?
There's absolutely nothing to stop them until you get competition. That's the nature of capitalism and competition. It keeps prices low and keeps people honest and keeps efficiency at its best.
Well, my encouragement to you is to put it on your priority list, right at the top of your priority list, if you would, as the voice for economic development in Anson County. It's got to be a top priority. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Brody?
Have you all made a response to the board as it pertains to the contract?
As a matter of fact, we are having a meeting with the group from the county government here after our AEDC meeting on Thursday morning. And we're going to go into discussions about that afterwards. That's been pre-scheduled already.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for AEDC at this time? All right. I appreciate your appearance here and look forward to seeing you in 3 months with some exciting news.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Moving on down. Next, we have the Building Anson Committee, Anson County Housing Market. I don't know who's speaking on that, but and you can
I think that's as far as it'll go.
you can remove it from the holder if you need to. There you go.
Tall people problems.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Matthew Hayes. I am the managing director of a company called Harbor Right. And we are an economic development consulting and research firm serving local governments. Our presentation today is on areas of housing, but our services are not limited to housing. It's a big issue for a lot of counties, for a lot of citizens, for a lot of people who pay what seems like an extraordinarily amount on just rent, on just housing, mortgages. And what we try to do is represent the public sector to help solve and analyze these issues from a myriad of data sources that we collect at the federal, state, and local levels. But we're not just limited to housing. We report on different areas and gather data from areas such as industrial, retail, grocery stores, consumer spending, and we solve issues across the broad economy. So we're a retainer-based firm. We believe in building long-term relationships with the government. 3 weeks ago, we came into Anson and held a town hall-style meeting, and it's good to see some familiar faces on this board here. We were honored to have the North Carolina Deputy Secretary of Commerce come in and present housing revitalization and different solutions to the county that would be of benefit to the local citizens. And what we wanted to talk about today are some of the challenges that are facing the county and potential solutions for them, and how to address the affordability issues, the high vacancy, and hopefully some revenue for the county. So up on the screen behind you, you're going to notice that the county is faced with 3 issues today. We have an aging inventory of housing stock, there's limited affordability, and a high vacancy of existing housing. If there's one chart I want you to take away from today, it's that Anson County has been a county that's lost population. It's been losing households. I see a lot of people shaking their heads. And Miss Susan, who was here at the meeting 3 weeks ago, she stood up and said that she felt this county was losing hope. And a lot of people are shaking their heads here agree. But I'm here to tell you that there is hope, because right behind you, Mr. Chairman, is a chart showing you the total permits, but also the total households. This green line that you're seeing right there, back in 2018, you lost about 143 households. 143 households left the county, that's net. But that trend has been going up. As of 2025, that number has gone up to 24. You've only lost 24. And in a couple years, this is going to be a growing county again. So that brings about 2 different problems. Anson County has 2 generational groups. There's an aging housing community. About 20% of the population or more are 65 and older. Over a quarter are 55 and up, active lifestyle. And then on the other end of the spectrum, about 20% are under 20 years old. That means you have a lot of young families that are struggling to pay rent, that maybe are looking for a mortgage, that maybe need help with childcare, that are looking for affordable options. So Anson County is not just a one demographic, one solution. It's multiple solutions. You have to solve for multiple problems here. The median income in this county is $47,500 per household. So we have to look for housing that's affordable for the community, that workers can afford, that aren't jacked up rents, that aren't these new subdivisions or big apartment complexes that want to rent you to death. This county, one of the biggest benefits, though, is that it's an owner-heavy county. About 60% of the housing stock has been built before 1980, and only 5% was built in 2010 to the present. We have an aging housing stock problem here. And the biggest number that concerns me is the vacancy rate. About 14% of all housing is vacant, and a large majority of that is mobile homes. So what are the solutions? How do we solve this problem? Because higher vacancy, vacant housing, these create issues for the city. It's a public health issue. It lowers property values. What can we do about this? Well, the answer isn't building these massive subdivisions or big apartment complexes or looking for the biggest developer to come in and jack up prices. The solution here is a revitalization. We got to protect what we've got, recover what we can, replace housing stock that may be in poor condition or needs revitalization that has access to local utilities, and build selectively. Revitalize those homes. So in order to do this, we've got to identify the homes we need to renovate, recover viable vacant homes, and revitalize what can be saved. Out of the older residents in this county, 80% of senior households own their own homes. So what we have to do and look for are areas where we can provide critical repairs, accessibility improvements, weatherization for tornadoes, any act of God's, Mr. Commissioner. And for those households that are older and need to downsize to their needs, we need to look to smaller accessible homes where the primary bedroom is on the first floor. We need to look for locations near services such as grocery stores, convenience stores, pharmacies, areas that these senior citizens need. And this is another statistic that caught my eye. 25% of the housing stock in Anson County are mobile homes. Imagine if a tornado went through here, any act of God. This is going to displace a lot of residents. So this is remember that a lot of these mobile homes were built before 1980. So we have to replace obsolete units, build on serviceable lots, and provide affordable family and senior housing. A very difficult challenge sometimes. But here are the priorities that Anson County can absorb. The biggest priorities for the county should be the existing home rehabilitation. We had the deputy secretary come in, explain to us the resources, the government grants from the state that they're providing, the governor's initiative for housing revitalization. We have to prioritize vacant property recovery. There's a lot of vacant housing stock in the county. They may have title issues, they may be in need of repairs, but they are connected to city and county services. And those should be, rather than going out and building a new subdivision or a new apartment complex, use what you got. We got to use what we have here and build on it. It's more cost effective. It's what's going to allow us to achieve attainable rents or home ownership. And then finally is the manufactured or modular replacement. Those areas that are condemned or falling apart or built before 1980, those need to be revitalized, replaced, or recovered if possible. And we're able to do this through pilot programs, accessible downsizing programs, small-scale rental housing, selective workforce, infill. But what this county is not, it's not the large subdivision, it's not the cookie-cutter neighborhood, it's not the big apartment complexes. It's the revitalization of the housing stock that came here back during the 1980s and the 1960s. And with that, I conclude my presentation. I want to make it clear that this county has its best days ahead. It's going to be a growing county again. It's going to be filled with opportunities. New households, young and older generations alike, living together. But we got to be smart in how we develop, and we have to plan well. Because there are counties in other parts of rural North Carolina that got to the growth stage, and they didn't plan ahead. And what our firm allows us to do is to work with the county on a retainer basis, solve these site selection issues, show the market trends, show the best possible solution for the public. And with that, I conclude my presentation, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I do have a question for you, Mr. Hayes. So you said the median income in Anson County was $47,500. I think it was $518. But
yes, sir.
So what price home is affordable based off of that number?
Well, the population can afford, for the median household, somewhere between $160,000 to $200,000. But there's a large part of the workforce. There's manufacturing components in this county, and those jobs bring in about $65,000. And those can afford roughly between 250, maybe up to the upper 200s, closer to 300,000. So it's not just one median. There are different groups in this county that these household incomes can support.
Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, the CDBG grant,
Yes, sir.
is that essentially what your firm is doing? In other words, is that not what the CDBG grant's doing? Is identifying properties, investing money in those homes that are dilapidated, fixing them up for the people to stay there?
This is a state level grant that's provided to local counties. Mr. Flowers came down, presented on it. We've researched it extensively, and this grant provides the resources to the county to assist in the revitalization efforts for housing. I'll give you an example. There's one county, I can't remember which, in North Carolina, within the past 2 years, I know for a fact, they were awarded $4 million. And I believe that's the limit. Don't quote me on that.
So the state would give a grant to the county that would in turn hire you or your firm to identify the sites and rehab the properties. Am I following that?
We provide services for site selection studies, for housing market studies, as well as industrial, retail, even hospitality. But we do not do the contractual work, the manual labor to revitalize these homes. We can help in the identifying, the planning process, but we do not do the manual labor.
Who does that burden fall on? The county?
Developers, local investors, that could fall on anyone who wants to come in here and help develop. And even the Anson County Homes of Hope here could be using those resources to help with housing revitalization initiatives.
Okay. All right. That answers all my questions. Are there any questions for Mr. Hayes?
I think you covered it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for the informative presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we're going to move on to our Utilities Department update.
Good evening, Chairman, Board, members of the community. We'll start out with the filtration plant itself. First of all, our filter rehab is still underway, and there's a progress meeting scheduled for tomorrow if any of you want to chime in on that to get an update on how the filter progress is going. Money for the generator has been reallocated to the AEDC for sewer line connection for the Atlantic Gateway project. I was hoping Mr. Brody stayed around so he could explain how or why that happened, but he's already gone, so I would hope that y'all could talk to him and figure out why that was. As y'all remember, we are under notice of deficiency to get this generator. So we're back to the drawing board with the $400,000 for generator expenses. Hazen Asari is currently looking into that for us, see if we can secure some more funding. Mr. Nick Addison here has been looking into getting reimbursement for the water crisis that we had. So we may not need the whole $400,000. Later on in the presentation, he'll talk to us about what he thinks that the amount would be, what we'll need. The chlorine feed has been updated and repaired, and as of 8 o'clock today, the system has reverted to chloramines. So we're back to our normally registered program. We have notified the pertinent customers about the change, dialysis, hospital, etc. Our lagoon access is still limited to foot traffic. We've been in negotiation for quite some time about that. Mr. Forbes, you may be able to speak to that a little bit to the board, but yeah, it's been a while, and we still don't have vehicular access to the lagoons. If any of y'all ever been down there, it's a pretty good walk. from the gate to the lagoon. We did speak with Mr. Billy Dove of Hazen and Sawyer about making some operational changes to reduce our unaccounted for water. Due to the current climate around, I'm not going to suggest or discuss what those operational issues would be or what we would do. Just due to, as y'all can see, cyber attacks on water systems throughout the United States. So some things we need to keep under wraps. Not to hide it from the citizens, just for security reasons. All right, moving on to the distribution. Our White Store tank is back online. The altitude valve was replaced on August the 10th. Bacterial testing was completed on Friday. And we talked with DEQ about the SCADA for all the tanks. SCADA is basically just communications between the tanks and the plant so they can see how much water is in each tank, cut it off, stop overflows. We have one tank, which is the Burnsville tank, will never overflow. It's too high. We have looked into engineering projects to see if we can get water to fill it up, but so far we haven't succeeded in that journey. Parts in for our 24-inch main. What we did after the water crisis was, the priority for me was to order parts so we'll have them on hand just in case something happens again. We'll at least have the parts. We won't have to search high and low to find them. It is a little costly to have these just laying around. Might look like a waste to some people, but it's better to have it and not be looking for it than the opposite. Because if we wouldn't have had those parts, we may have been still on the boil water notice. Who knows? E-billing. E-billing has been rolled out to our customers. This is an option. So, customers, I don't want you to think that you all have to be e-billed. It is an option. If you would like that option, please call us. Give us your email address and we'll be able to email your bills from now on. The more people we get signed up, the better off would it be with the cost of postage and, printing the bills off itself. Metering issues. So due to the water crisis, we could not read our meters in normal time frame. Therefore, some customers experience longer billing periods. Along with the already approved rate increase, some customers have higher water bills. Although the billing period is longer this month, it will be shorter next month, thus balancing itself out. Mr. Addison has provided information in your agenda packet regarding questions about discounts or adjustments to customers. So I'm not sure if y'all had a chance to look that over. And if y'all want to stop right here and discuss, fine. If not, we'll move on.
I'd like you to explain that. You said it was something in our packet pertaining to the adjustments. I guess something we could do
What
as a
are the
board.
options of?
What we could do as a board.
Yes.
And I guess we could adjust, I guess we would have to make a decision as a board to adjust water bills collectively.
Whatever y'all decide to do. If you're not gonna do anything, just say you're not gonna do anything so I can let the customer know that won't be anything done further.
Okay. I just want to understand it on because I probably, like other commissioners, had some calls and some complaints about,
Yes,
but it sounded like you kind of sort of answered it. So some higher bills was due to a longer billing period,
Yes.
and the next billing period will be much shorter. So
Thus
you-
making the bill
So
lower.
making the bill lower. So in itself, you're saying that would be the adjustment?
I'm just saying that's what it'll balance itself out that way. Now, if y'all decided to give some other adjustment or something because of the inconvenience, that would be totally up to the board, but it wouldn't have anything to do with metering per se, if that makes sense.
How many days were we under boiled water recommendation?
Approximately 10, 11, yes.
10 or 11
Yes,
days,
sir. Yes, sir.
where the majority of citizens did not have access to clean water.
Yes, sir.
I know that
In that sense.
the county is tight of funds, but to my mind, we should give citizens at least a consideration of no payment for those 11 days that they had to boil the water. I mean, that seems only fair.
I agree. I couldn't agree anymore. And I guess My concern is where we are financially, and I think that should be corrected on behalf of the citizens. I agree.
Well, our finance director is in the audience. I'd like to know what would it cost the county to make that sort of accommodation? 11 days.
I have not been asked to make that calculation. We have reached out to.
If you can't come to the mic, please.
I have not been asked to make that calculation of what that cost would be. In addition to that, I have sent an email to County Manager Scott Forbes, Nick Addison, concerning if we can and cannot discount bills by state statute. There are options that we have, but what I think that our option would be is that the general fund will have to offset that for enterprise. So if it calculates to be $20,000 that we discount customers, then general fund needs to pay water $20,000. So I'm still waiting for the determination from Scott Forbes what direction that we can take, if that makes sense to you.
Where does our general fund stand as of now?
Right now, I cannot tell you because we're in the midst of the audit. We are a couple of months from having the audit completed. I am very concerned in generally for water, more than I am general fund. So if we give any discount, I would definitely recommend the general fund offsetting that discount and refunding water for whatever that discount amount equates to.
What is your level of concern with us offsetting it with the general fund? What's the capacity? I mean, is there room to do that comfortably?
I do not think there's room comfortably to do any increase in our budget this year
And why is that?
because we are operating with over $4 million of fund balance right now. Yes, we can.
So therefore,
Discussion we had during, excuse me, that was discussion we had during budgeting,
Yes.
the level of fund balance and how much we need to be careful about taking out of it.
oh well,
I mean, we would do whatever the pleasure of the board is, but I would suggest if we do give discounts, that we at least refund that back to the water department, to the enterprise fund.
but we could not do that comfortably, is what you're saying. I mean, I want to clarify.
I would rather answer that question depending on how much it ends up being, to be honest. I don't know how much it would be. Are you talking about all customers? You talking about your,
Well, I mean, what
your residential customers? You talking about your manufacturing customers? Or I mean,
I mean,
suggestion would be if we're gonna do something like that, it has to be like, it can't be just this group or that group, or it has to be a whole.
to
Right.
the towns that buy
Right.
water from us.
Well, I mean, I guess the impact was throughout the county. Is that right?
Yeah. So are the towns, if we give them a discount, are they gonna give the adjustment back to their residents as well?
I don't think we have the authority to
No.
make that decision or to ask those questions. I mean,
I don't either, but
I
if we give them a discount, then, you know.
but I guess ultimately we are the ones that run and operate the water for this entire county. So therefore, I guess my main concern is what we can do at this board. And I guess those citizens in those various municipalities and towns could take that up with those councils and, you know, let it be known that they are aware of what the Board of Commissioners have done. And I think that our elected officials on our town levels, I would assume, will do the right thing by their citizens, hopefully.
Correct. So I'm still waiting on Attorney Forrest to tell us if we can or can't with enterprise funds, to be honest.
Well, enterprise funds are used for, and I guess I'm just going off information I learned in from the local government classes. As I explained, this for the water department in itself is the free enterprise of the county. So therefore, funds can be utilized from general fund to the water department, and the only impact is whether or not you have the funds to do it. However, if you move funds from your water to your general fund, that is handled as if it's a loan, and you must replace those funds. So we have permission to do it. The real question is not whether or not we can do it. The question is, can we afford to do it?
So what we would need is what kind of discount you want to give. If you want to give a flat amount or percent.
Well, whatever that discount looks like for them being without water for those 10 or 11 days is my assumption, Commissioner.
That would be my assumption as well. But right now, I don't have enough information to make a motion because I don't know what it's going to cost the county, and I'd like to know that.
Mr. Harrington, how big of a chat? What is it going to take you as utilities to determine what a customer's bill, what their usage would have been per day? Because your bill is based off what a meter read. So if there was no water going through it, they weren't being billed anyway. So how do we figure how much per day they were being billed for? Does that make sense?
Yeah, what we have to do is basically just take the bill and divide it by the number of days to figure out how many days that they basically had usage of water. Divide that, and then you can tell how much it was per day, and subtract that 11 days.
And I guess my question would be if it was.
Now that would be tedious
Are
for
you
our
going to do
billing.
that for all 5,500 customers?
Yeah, that'll be tedious now. I'm just saying it'd be tedious to do that individually. So we would have to talk to Edmonds, our software company, to see if it's a way that we could get that baseline number and apply it to each account.
So how do we come up with a bill where 10 days was without water usage, and you come up with a bill, I guess, that may be more, or as if it's calculated water usage?
Well, in theory, your days that you saying that was no water used 11 days, it wouldn't have registered through your meter if you didn't use water. So the baseline right now is $21, whether you use 0 to 2,000 gallons.
Right.
So in my mind, in just thinking of this out loud, everybody would be $21, whether you used 2,000 gallons or you didn't use a drop, because it's gonna be the same thing either way. In my mind.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I can't hear you, Mr. Sussman. Thank you.
You got it. No, what I was going to say is, if you're saying 10 or 11 days, how many days are in a normal billing cycle?
30.
30. So roughly 1/3 of the time they were out. So what if we reduce the bills by 1/3? To me, that's simple.
That sounds.
If our software company can get that percentage right to do it, that's instead of going by individual accounts. It sounds simple for one account, but if you're talking about 5,500 accounts, it's not simple.
I would just point out there's also accounts, as Chris alluded to, that are their billing period is 50 days because it took us time to get to the meter reading because staff are responding to the incident. So it would be tough to do a blanket 1/3.
Okay.
But
Because some people have a regular bill, because we did do some meter reading prior to the incident. So you have some people that the 11-day period that they did not have water would not show up into the next billing period. So it's not like, we can do a straight percentage if we need to, but I don't know if it'll be fair and consistent across the board because everybody's billing is different depending on when it was read, if that makes sense. But we would also need to know if you want us to discount their water and their sewer as well.
I would say no to sewer. But going back to what you said, Mr. Addison, the formula is still pretty simple to me. If you look at the 50-day cycle, that would be, if you're talking about 10 days, that would be 20%. If you're looking at a 30-day cycle, that would be 33%.
Y'all the boy. Y'all tell me what y'all want to do. We go with it.
So therefore, it may be some that would just get more of a discount, I guess.
No, the percentage would, if you're gonna do an average daily rate, it would be 33% for a 30-day period, 20% for a 50-day period.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, just do the two different ones. Yeah, I agree to that, yeah.
But
My
that's still
concern
somebody
is-
touching or looking at every account, 5,500 accounts,
Yeah.
determining how much percentage each customer
Yeah,
gets.
yeah.
My
which is-
concern is not the math behind it. You're correct. Your math is correct. My concern is, can our software do that? Or are we gonna have to manually review 5,500 individual accounts and you're talking weeks worth of work.
Yeah.
It would, if that's the board's
I mean,
pleasure,
it's-
that's the board's pleasure. I just want to be upfront with you, the process it's gonna
Yeah.
take.
Well, it appears that we just need to do some research and see what y'all can come up with.
Or how we could potentially satisfy
And
some of the inconvenience in some way. I don't know.
this is not a popular opinion, what I'm about to say. But we were sitting here a few months ago, and the reason that we're in only one of the reasons that we're in the situation that we're in now is because water has been billed at very significantly lower than what it should be to start with. So now we're talking about taking more. I know it's rough, and that's a tough opinion, but our water bill rates have been extremely low, and not saying the quality is there either, but
Yeah.
this is one of the reasons that we're having this discussion here today too.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, what we would be crediting, or the only reason I would even entertain a credit is for the inconvenience. In other words, it was inconvenient that you didn't have running water. You didn't pay for water that you didn't have because it didn't go through your meter. But we are looking at an incentive or a credit due to the inconvenience of not having that water. I personally think the easiest route would be to give a flat dollar amount credit to each residential user. And then the municipalities that we're responsible for, the wholesale customers, I think we handle those differently. And I think Mr. Addison's got a presentation or talking points on that as far as through the state reimbursement program that we can handle those with. But I think on the residential customers, I think the easiest way is, if we're going to do something, let's just give a flat dollar figure rate across the board to the users.
That sounds more
I just think-
convenient, and I think that would, and it would give us some real numbers to work with. However, we still could make that decision tonight because we don't know where our general fund stands.
And I think Mr. Addison can hint on that as well. Even if though it's coming out of the general fund, I think there's some appropriations that can be used to, instead of the general fund, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
I'll let Mr. Addison explain.
Yeah, and so between Chris, Holly, myself, Rodney, Lynn, really what we need from the board is just some guidance of what direction you want to take. But if, to the chairman's point, if it's going to be a flat fee based, just quick math, if you say there's 5,500 accounts and you give a $10 discount, well,
55,000.
right. So you can kind of ballpark now as to whether or not general fund can afford such an encumbrance. You know, finance will have to address that question. And we hadn't even touched on the wholesaler, which would be our 6 municipalities. How would we address that? So in this executive brief, these are really the 4 items kind of need the board to start thinking about and kind of give staff a sense of direction as to how to pursue this, residential and normal meters, commercial, whatever. Those are simple enough, but on the other side, we do have our wholesale purchasers, which would need to be addressed, and how are we going to address those as well? But alluding to or piggybacking off the chairman's comments about reimbursement, so there is a reimbursement program. It's called SERDIF. It's a State Emergency Response and Disaster Relief Fund. So the way it works is the General Assembly appropriates a giant pot of money to this program. And anytime there's a natural disaster, the General Assembly has to go back and do another appropriation out of that initial appropriation to fund any potential disaster reimbursements. Now, the program has a 1% threshold of your general fund. So when we look at Anson County, you can see our 1% threshold would be approximately $466,000. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, documenting everything, getting all those receipts and everything tallied. Right now, the workbook currently sits at $477,889.01. So we've met the 1% threshold. There's still a few remaining items that need to be added to that. So the 1% threshold has been met. So if it is the board's pleasure, when the time comes, we can submit for disaster reimbursement. Now, if the state legislature should choose to appropriate it, we won't get 100% back. We'll get 75% back. So just a ballpark, 75% of 477 would be like 356,000, 358, something like that. So that is a potential windfall back to us to help offset the cost of the disaster. But to the points of Chris and Holly, we've lost the $400,000 appropriation that was supposed to go to the generator, and then whatever we spend potentially providing credits, that'll be coming out of general fund. So the disaster reimbursement's not going to make up for the disaster, the lost 400,000, the credits. So, but there is a potential that some money could make its way to us in response to the disaster.
So that's a possibility. Is it a strong possibility we could receive those funds, or is just one of those things that we're hoping?
State emergency management seem favorable, thought favorably that we would be able to receive those funds, yes. But the sooner we strike while the iron's hot, the better. You know, if we wait a year later and submit.
Do you need permission from the board or a vote, a motion to submit for those funds?
It would not hurt for the sake of posterity.
All right, I make a motion that we provide this submission of state emergency funds. Is that what that is? Appropriations.
Assertive.
All right, so your motion, I just want to clarify, your motion is to submit to the state for reimbursement for the disaster funds through the assertive program.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion by Commissioner Ellaby to do that. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Woodburn. Before we vote on that, I want to clarify. So the state rules, so to speak, and all this took place during the water crisis. We met, the director of North Carolina Emergency Management came down to the EOC. We met with him and kind of talked through this process. So all this has been in the works since back whenever July, whatever days it were. Yeah. The common thought was that the county should declare the state of emergency, and that would encompass everyone in the county. Well, each municipality is responsible for their own emergency declaration. But in that, each municipality is required to meet the 1% threshold or they receive no funding. So if they didn't have 1% loss of their general fund, they wouldn't receive any of these funds back, which is why there was hesitation on declaring a state of emergency, because we needed to figure out how we could handle everybody as a whole instead of us doing our thing, each municipality doing theirs. Some of them are not going to meet the 1% threshold. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, this number that we have figured, the 477, that is our total cost. We are allowed to include the municipalities under our declaration for this funding, but that money would not go back to the municipalities. That money would, the only way we could give that money back to the municipalities is through a credit on their wholesale water rates, right?
So State EM is still getting us some clarity on that in terms of would it have to be appropriated back to them. Right now, the indication seems to be that, yes, it would have to go to them, which on the accounting side of disaster makes it a little easier because we know how much water turned over in their tanks, and they're working on accounting their personnel, line breaks, anything like that. To my knowledge, most municipalities will not hit their 1% threshold. So if it is the board's pleasure, we can allow them to come under our umbrella and include it into our submission. But that may impact how you think about providing them a credit. Because you don't want to provide a double relief, a duplicative relief. If you give them a credit, and State EM through a assertive program turns around and gives them disaster relief for the same incident, they would be getting a duplicative credit for their water. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Is there any way to put it together so that doesn't happen? Is that too far out there?
Well, we haven't made a decision to give a credit yet.
Well, I'm just
All
saying.
right, I guess if we just do we would have to get more information from finance
Right.
to what that would cost to give a credit to residents or wholesalers and all of that. I think we haven't made a decision on it.
Yeah, well, the residents, in other words, that's going to be one issue.
One
The
other,
residential users,
Yeah.
wholesale customers only, so the municipalities that we serve, they would be the only one affected. And really, they would have the choice. Do they come under our emergency declaration, or do they do their own?
Yeah, we wouldn't do this without their coordination
Right.
and approval, yeah.
But I think it's just prudent to point out that if they come under ours because they're not going to meet the 1% threshold, I think that's where we give the wholesale water rate, water customer a discount. If they are going to claim their own emergency, then they would get reimbursed on their side already. We wouldn't have to give them so I think there's going to have to be some communication from each municipality as to what their plans or intentions are. That way we know what.
So it might be best to just to hold off on that motion. Yeah. I will.
I think so, but I'm not telling you what to do.
Well, no, I mean, I thought that was, now with that understanding, I think we gotta have some communication to each town and municipality.
Kind of how they want to proceed.
Yeah, so I rescind my motion at this time until we
And that
have
also allows us to get the numbers. In other words, we know how many water customers we got. Give us some proposals on kind of what you think an average customer we should rebate on the residential side. And then on the commercial or wholesale side, let's look at, one, it's going to depend on what the municipalities want to do. My thoughts, because unless we know what meter readings were every day on municipal rate users, can we average their bill over the last 3 months? The municipal wholesale customers, is that possible?
Yes, it's possible.
Because, in other words, they had to flush their whole system just like we did because of a failure of our system. So unless they were reading their meter every day, we don't know how much water they were flushing. But if we just take an average of the last 3 months, we got a pretty good understanding of how much water they would have used, and then we can figure out how to adjust their rate from there as far as a discount. But there again, that comes after they make the determination, do they want to fall under our declaration or do they want to do their own? And they have to make that decision, but they know the 1% guideline or threshold now.
Mr. Chairman, when is our next meeting?
First Tuesday in September. I don't know what day that is.
I think it's September the 1st.
September 1st.
September
Right.
1st.
Why don't we hold off and give the utilities director, the finance officer, and Mr. Addison the assignment to come back to this board with a recommendation and what it's going to cost to do the credit for, especially for residential customers. That would be my recommendation, that we table this for now.
I agree.
Okay. So,
I've already rescinded my motion.
okay,
as well.
so the motion is rescinded by Commissioner Ellaby for the credit.
So what type of credit do you want us to come back to you as a recommendation? How much? A percent, an amount per resident?
I think most of the complaints I had, I don't think it was a large amount, was it? I mean, I think it was, roughly anywhere from $15, $20.
I would give us a range. Give us anywhere from $10 to $40,
Yeah.
and show us kind of what it's going to look like per residential customer.
And it doesn't matter if they had the minimum bill or not, everybody's gonna get the $10 or $15 or $20.
I think that's the only.
That's the easiest route.
I ain't gonna say the fairest, but that's
I'm just asking.
Yeah, because some bills were already lower, I believe.
Yeah,
I
because
think-
somebody who may be on a shorter bill cycle, and that's a good question to bring up. So if you had a bill cycle less than 30 days, are you still billed the minimum $21?
Yes.
Next month, if you have a bill cycle shorter than 30 days, are they going to be billed for $21?
If they use 2,000 gallons or less, yes.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking of the single person at home who uses nowhere near 2,000 gallons. They're entitled to the same inconvenience credit that everyone else is, I would think. So yes, if you're getting a minimum bill, you should get that same credit, is my opinion. But
I agree.
I agree.
So do we want the inconvenience to be more than the regular bill would be, so we can knock down the, say like you said, $45. The bill is 21, so we don't want to do that.
And that's where I think, give us a range. Show us show us how much it's going to cost if we give a $10 credit. Show us what it's going to cost if we give a $40 credit, and we can pick something in between, if that makes sense.
5,500 customers, right?
Do some amounts in between.
Yeah, 10, 25, 40.
I guess just to clarify, let's say you
5,000.
say the maximum range is a $42 credit. Would you let that flat rate user not pay anything for 2 months?
That's
Is that?
that's $200,000.
I know. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure so that we have clear direction. If you set a $42 credit, and they're using 1,000 gallons a month, that means they'll get 2 months without a bill. I just want to make.
Yeah.
Well, if it needs to be that high.
I don't personally think it should be 40. I was just said that was the very maximum of the
okay.
range.
Okay.
I guess the idea is kind of how budget time we had 13 options of a budget.
Yeah.
So we had 13 different options to look at a budget. Give us some options of looking at a credit.
I
What's up?
guess we also looking to see, Ms. Berry's gonna, check the fund balance to see how we looking as far as reimbursing this, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to really give you anything till the audit's done.
And that's
'Cause
what,
we're still receiving in money for last year and spending. for
That
last
was the
year.
question I wanted to ask. So when is the, like, roughly,
We should have it by October 31st,
so
about 2 months, 2 months out, 2.5 months out.
but the current general fund is irrelevant to this number if we file for the declaration emergency, because we're going to get reimbursed 75% of 477,000 today. So we can use, that money will be coming to the general fund, to my understanding. We will reimburse the enterprise fund out of that $365,000, whatever it is. Does that make sense?
But yeah, but I think at that point you counting the chickens before they hatch. Because if you don't get the money, then we spending that money.
Well, sure, yeah, if the state does not appropriate those funds.
Right,
but
exactly.
As Mr. Addison said. the
That's what I
director-
was asking.
The
I
Director
agree.
of Emergency
That's a
Management
risky.
felt pretty confident that it would be awarded, so.
If I may, and Holly could correct me if I'm wrong, this is really going to come down to a general fund issue.
Yeah.
We know we have approximately 5,500 counts today. So 5,500 times 10 is 55,000. If we do a $20 credit, it's 110,000. If you did the 21 to cover a flat fee, it's $115,500. We can sit here today and give you an approximation as to what a credit will cost. The question is going to come down, can the general fund handle that deduction? Would you?
which is what my original question was. I think so. Probably not. I mean, really.
But in your opinion, Ms. Berry, you're saying, I think, that we need to wait till after the audit to see where the fund balance is, or either we get this money back from the state.
I'm not gonna make a recommendation till I know what the fund balance is. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel comfortable making a recommendation until we know what the fund balance is.
Okay.
And I don't think anybody would,
Okay,
until we have
understand.
that number. But we're working, and we may have it before October 31st. I haven't had a discussion to see if there's any idea of us finishing early. They probably have 85 to 90% of everything that they need, so it's just more or less of them having the time to do the work. And everything's going well with the audit. I don't see any delays unless the state does what they did last year and didn't have the compliance work available, which puts the audit being completed or the financial statements being completed till February. Something like that happens, then it may not be October 31st if they extend the deadline because they have not issued the compliance documents yet.
So it sounds like the safest route is what he recommended, the shorter periods, adjusting for longer periods, and waiting till he get back with the different towns or seeing if they're gonna fall under the CERTO funds.
That was just to correct the billing cycle. That has nothing to do with the bill itself. So during the emergency response, all of utilities staff were reallocated instead of reading meters to performing repairs and flushing. In response to that, since they weren't reading meters, instead of having the meter read on the 30th day, some of them got read on the 40th day, the 50th day, or anywhere in between. What Chris was saying is, for those individuals who had a billing period longer than the standard 30 days, let's say it's 50, make math simple. If you had a billing period of 50 days, your next bill period will be 10, and then your next bill period would be 30. So we're trying to get you back on that 30-day billing period, correct? Okay.
So that kind of adjusts the bill in a sense, doesn't it? If you're paying for 10 days, or it doesn't at all?
No,
Okay.
because they would still pay the same amount over
Okay,
the time.
gotcha.
It's just they're paying it in a larger or smaller chunk.
Technically, whoever gets that 10-day bill is still going to pay $21.
Right, right.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. So, sounds like we can't really do anything until audits is done, or we find out the status of what the towns want to do with CERTA. So
Yeah. Did Mr. Ray, in other words, I know he can't give a, because technically, I don't think the emergency management makes that decision if we're reimbursed. It's state legislators, right?
Correct.
So we're not going to have any definitive answer on that until after we apply, I'm assuming, correct?
That's correct. And that's generally just, we just need a sense of which way we're going to go so we know what to tell customers and the municipalities, because they're facing the same issue. I mean, municipalities ran hundreds of thousands of gallons through the hydrant directly onto the ground. So they're calling Chris and I asking what's going to be done, and tonight is that sense of direction.
Well, I think,
CERTA funds is going to be our best route.
yeah, I think we need to get clarity from the municipalities who want to be included in our declaration.
Yep.
And then we can make the decision on the municipal rates, on the municipal users. Are we in agreement that if they're not going to declare under our emergency, that we would not credit their bill as a municipal rate user? Is that the consensus of the board? Because they're going to get that, they're going to get their credit from the state.
Right.
Okay.
So question then, could the motion be that, I guess to keep him from having to wait on another meeting to approve it, could the motion that I was making be detailed that if, you know, the towns are going to fall under our umbrella, he submitted, that way it won't, you know, it won't be a long process, we can go ahead and get it in.
I believe, Mr. Osman, we never did declare the event an emergency, did we? So we'll have to come back to the board regardless to retroactively declare it an emergency.
That's right.
Okay.
So I think it would be prudent, let's
Wait.
look at it September 1st. We'll have the information. We can make a decision going forward on what we're going to do as far as credits.
Sounds good.
But in the meantime, I think staff need to have communication with the municipalities, get an understanding of what they want to do, so we'll know when we declare and we make a motion as to what credits we're going to give. So,
Well, I have a question for Chris.
Yes, sir.
I know you said in the short billing cycle, 0 to 10 days, it's still, as long as you didn't go over the 2,000 gallons, it's still a $21. So if you was in a 50-day, you got in a 50-day cycle, if you didn't go over 2,000 gallons, is it still $21 or not?
Yes, sir. Still
Okay.
$21. It's based on your usage. So if
Okay.
you use 2,000 or less,
It's still
$21. That's without sewer. Now with sewer, it's extra $24 added. So you're looking at
Okay.
45.
I got you.
okay. Any other questions for utilities?
I heard somehow we lost $400,000. What was that about?
For the Senate gave us $400,000, and then they referred it back to the economic development, didn't it?
Oh, I
Yes,
didn't.
that's
I wasn't aware of it. So
Yeah, that's why I was hoping Mr. Brody stayed, but he skipped out on us. But yes.
the 400,000 that was granted to Anson County.
400,000 was granted to the water department utilities for the generator that is needed at the filtration at the raw water pump station, and that money got reappropriated to the AEDC for the sewer connection for the Atlantic Gateway.
Wow.
Yeah,
How does that happen? I mean, I didn't know.
This is my understanding of that appropriation was that money was appropriated to Anson County for water and wastewater improvements. The county was going to use that $400,000 to purchase a standby generator at our raw water intake facility or at the water plant.
Right.
The original intent of that money was to be used in wastewater through the sewer line extension that was coming from AEDC. I think there were some discrepancies between some members in the legislation. and that there was a technical corrections bill filed, and in that bill filing, that money was reappropriated, still coming to Anson County, but it is earmarked for Anson Economic Development Corporation sewer money, wastewater money. So Anson County is still the
Kind of fishy to
the
me.
bearer of that money, so to speak.
It sounds kind of fishy to me. I'll just be honest with you.
I agree. No. Yes, ma'am. So I agree. I have no authority. I kind of look at it as the state giveth and the state taketh away.
Well, but when did this come about? This is my first time hearing about
I
it.
want to say the state sorry, go ahead.
It was brought, it was explained,
When?
not our last meeting, maybe the meeting before, but at the same time, like you said, it was kind of,
Your mic, I think.
some misappropriation through the legislature that
Yeah.
ended up going to the place different than where it should have gone.
I
So-
think some of our legislative
So,
members wanted to.
so what happens when, now that we know that, and citizens wonder about money appropriated for the betterment of Anson County water, which we've just come out of crisis with, that we are in desperate need of a generator, and it gets reappropriated to the AEDC, which a legislator currently serving is the director. And we're just supposed to say how does sounds I don't really use that term, but it sounds very fishy to me.
I'll use it for you. It sounds fishy to me, and I think we need an explanation.
I think that explanation has to come from your legislators.
Well,
nobody on this county.
We just had one here.
Let's just invite him back.
I would have. I would have liked to get that update while he was here.
No.
Good, yeah.
I mean, if we've already looked, I saw the appropriation of $400,000, and I thought it was a great gesture by Senator Craven, but to find out that it cannot be utilized for the betterment of Anson County water and sewer, and it's going to be appropriated to a sewer line, that's not a good look for us.
Horrible look.
And
I agree.
Which explains my concerns altogether at the beginning of all of this.
I agree, and I voiced my concerns to both legislators who made that decision.
I really wish I would have known before tonight that took place. That's amazing. I just found out that.
I can't remember when that technical corrections bill was.
So what are
filed.
we going to do about a generator now?
We're back to the drawing board. Hazen and Sawyer looking into some more funding opportunities. We just had a meeting with them last Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
So now
try to
here's-
find some more funding opportunities to get a generator.
Mr. Chairman, I think we need to hear from Mr. Brody at our next meeting, and to give us an explanation as to what happened and how it happened and why it happened.
I agree. Yeah. And I will caution you. In other words, he's only one of our legislators. We have multiple.
He's
No,
only.
we have two.
We
is
only
what I'm
have.
saying.
We only have one ADC director too.
I understand.
I mean, it's just not a good look for Anson County, nor the citizens of Anson County, and we're looking to try to make any small improvement that we can to our water and sewer services. And $400,000 is a significant amount of money to help support this
Just wait a
water.
minute. I'm finna ask you for some more money. Just hold on one second.
Where we're gonna? The question is where we're gonna get it from.
Let's go ask you.
But before you ask for some more money, now Hazen and Sawyer, is this the same project that they recommended we did not allow to connect, or is something totally different?
The same sewer line, yes.
So this sewer line is still being ran, but it's going to be ran the correct way.
It's already connected to
It was already
the
ran.
gravity.
Yeah.
So who permitted it to grant to connect it?
They connected to our line.
Yes, sir.
So who connected it?
Their Dellinger, who was their contractor, was designed originally not to be connected there. Correct, Chris?
That's correct.
Okay, but it has already been corrected as of a couple days ago to that manhole. And what it does is it ties that 10-inch force main into an 8-inch gravity, which is what your engineers, Hazen and Sawyer, said do not do.
So when were we gonna find out that they did that?
I just found out today.
I was gonna tell you when we got through with this, but you know.
Well, as of last week, we determined they did not have permission. I'm sorry, I'm speaking legally now.
Right.
They did not have a legal permit to do that from what I was told and from what I understood. They didn't have the authority to connect to that, that's what I was told when I inquired about it, and they had not connected that problem yet. So I just want anybody to come up thinking, I didn't.
No,
It's my understanding, and through Mr. Addison, that I think they were permitted from the state to tie into our sewer. I don't know about the physical location, but they were permitted already to tie in, is my understanding.
So what bearing does this board have when it comes to our own sewer lines?
When our engineers said don't do it. So what did they even come ask us for?
What good is it for us to be commissioners? I mean, I might as well leave today and the rest of this board if we make decisions here and they matter not. Again, I asked a question about the contract. Now I'll bring it all out. I asked a question about a contract that they received how long ago, Ms. Addison?
It's been 2 months.
So 2 months ago, a contract received, and I asked about it, and all of a sudden, this Thursday coming, there's going to be a meeting about it. There's been 2 months to look over it.
I think it's been looked at, but I'm surprised it hadn't been brought back.
Well, I mean, but ultimately, we want our citizens here in Anson County to have confidence in the economic development in our county.
I agree.
When things are being done, and with all the vicissitudes and everything that's involved in it, it's unrealistic to me. And ultimately, nothing would have been said if the question wouldn't have been asked. I had no clue. I had no clue they tied in anyway.
Yeah, it was in my report here. I was gonna get to it, but
I think he was asked to look to verify if it was done.
And I had no clue that $400,000 we were counting on had already been reallocated until you said. I heard you say it a moment ago.
The one thing I will say, as far as this generator thing goes, I thought that the state was going to allocate the money regardless. But if something happens and we don't have water, what good's the sewer line going to be if we don't have water to flush through it?
I agree.
So,
well, apparently a sewer line is more important than water being able to be available to the citizens of Anson County.
Well, I think we get all our questions answered at the September 1st meeting.
Well, I would like for Attorney Forbes to look into that on the legal side, how that works. And again, that's my concern. That was my concern about Anson County hiring a current North Carolina legislator as our economic developer. It is the appearance of a conflict. It now is that much more of an appearance of a conflict. And I don't see how that's acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
I mean, this is unreal. I mean, I'm speechless. I mean, when a preacher can't find nothing to say.
We will, I have a note, we will request Mr. Brody to be back in front of us in September.
This bothers me greatly.
Yes, sir. If that's our meeting day, I have not looked it up. Okay, so, yep.
Now, have they already tied into our sewer line without our approval as a Board of Commissioners?
It's my understanding that they had a permit to tie into our system.
From where?
From our sewer.
We don't issue permits. DEQ issues those permits. What they have is a flow tracking sheet that Gary Garrison, who operates our wastewater treatment plant,
that's correct,
put together showing the flow, not a permit.
Right.
I have pointed that out to them. They don't believe me.
Well,
I've had that
So at what
conversation
point
as
do
well.
they get a permit?
They don't have a permit.
At what point would anybody get a permit?
Well, if you'll remember, and I'm gonna bring something up that's not really good because I didn't like it. Chris knows about it. West side of the county, Polkton, we had a certain individual want to put 4 mobile homes over there. His engineering firm over in Union County put together the request. I signed off after Gary reviewed it. Not a permit yet. It was submitted to DEQ. They denied it because they said the flow was not possible. And so that's what would have happened here. But they didn't go that route.
Okay.
There is, to me, no defense mechanism for this.
Well,
And
why don't we freeze the money of AEDC? And we, no, I'd say stop. We can just freeze it where we can monitor what's going on and they need to come through us as a commission instead of doing stuff behind our back.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Commissioner Mims, and that is the reason I am headstrong about the county of Anson having a contract, a contractual agreement. I was not interested in a moratorium. First thing I stated was a contract because it's lawful and legally binding. It is now evident that this is necessary.
Well, if we don't have it done,
If there's no contract done, we need to cease dealings with the AEDC for our economic development. Commissioner Gatewood voiced concerns about a grocery store for the well-being of the citizens, and it pointed back to our county manager and assistant county manager. It brings me back to what my thought process is all along. If they're doing the economic development, keep the money in-house and we can monitor it, we can do it, and it'll be for the county.
Okay. I have a note to request Mr. Brody back. Ms. Adams, you have that on the agenda already, so.
Mr. Chairman, since this involves personnel, I'd like to have a closed session with the board after our formal meeting so that we can discuss this further.
I'll second that motion to
All
go
right.
into closed session.
All right. Mr. Harrington, anything else?
Yes, I was gonna ask you about some meters. But apparently we don't have any money, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Yes, we do need meters. Would cut down on some of our unaccounted for water, and if we had a situation arise like we did the last time with the last water crisis, we'd be able to read them from the office, read them more efficiently. Then we can free our workers up to do other projects. If we can't afford the meters, which is around 2.7 million, I would ask that you would look at it, not saying tonight, because I don't think I'll get a good answer tonight. But
I don't think we can look at the next year, next budget.
Maybe four part-time meter readers I could use to. That's all they would do is just read the meter, so therefore I can free up my other guys to do other projects, as far as hydrants, valves, things of that nature.
So 2.7 million buys how many meters?
What was 5,000, 5,500, somewhere in that range?
It was almost the entire system.
So that's all new
I-
meters,
I-
okay.
I want to say so.
We got it. We got the money.
So we're gonna move on to something brighter, cause yeah.
Wait a minute, I think we got some more
Can
questions on
we
that.
talk about meters
Yep.
for a second? How many meters approximated are not working right now that are in service being read?
I would say when you say not working, what do you mean by not working? You saying not radio read or not working at all?
Both. Both. Give me a number for both.
I would say probably at least 40% not radio read, probably 30% or less not working at all.
30% not working at all. Are these marked? As in
No.
inoperable?
We have to mark them each month as they go out. So normally we can just change the base on them to make them work, but you still would have to get out and physically read them. That's why I was asking for the 4.
Yeah, I'm okay, but I guess what I'm saying is, are you saying that there's 30% active meter, not even active, I guess would be the inaccurate term. 30% meters that are not tallying gallons.
Well, I'm just using that based on the age of the meter that's in the ground. Not necessarily they don't work. Like we got these meters in 2007, 2008. Lifespan is only 10 years, so that's what I'm basing that on. I could actually count and tell you and get back with you how many are actually not working.
What was the warranty on them?
Warranty is 10 years.
What
When they first, now we got to take in mind when we first got this system, it was just not starting. Radio read was just starting, so we went the cheapest route, and you're gonna get the cheapest meter. I mean, that's just
So
how it
out of all
works.
the meters we have, you say 40% of them are not radio read.
40% they probably have to get out and read it.
Read it manually, like, yeah. And 30% of them, nothing, you're going to get anything really from
I'm
them.
saying a little bit less
I mean,
than that, but
okay.
just yeah, I would say since 2008 probably maybe 20%, something like that. I can get a better number for you when I get back to the office and look. But
How much is 1 meter?
1 meter is right now is $385. That's with the node and the meter itself. Nah, we install.
So are you marking the meters that aren't working?
Yeah, we do that every month.
So you have an inventory?
We have a
meters.
flag and we mark the ones that are. We try to change out the ones that aren't registering at all first.
Okay.
Now the ones that we get out and read and they still work, we kind of keep them in the ground a little bit longer because they still work. You just have to get out the truck.
When you switch a meter out, what happens to the old one?
The old one goes back into the shop. We take the register off, we box it up, have it ready to send back to Mueller. But the thing about Mueller, they have changed the returns 3 to 4 times. So I have boxes sitting in my warehouse now, waiting on them to give me the label to return it.
You return them and get like a credit or anything?
You return them and get some credit, yes.
Like a core charge?
Something similar. You won't get dollar for dollar, but you'll get
Right,
something.
yeah, a core charge.
Yeah.
So they're worth something.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you done the cost, what it costs your department or the county for guys to manually read the meters? And how does that equate to the $385 per meter that it costs to put a new radio read in?
No, I haven't. I can, but I haven't.
I'd be curious to know, in other words, we can spend $385 and you can read it at the office. Or are we spending $385 to send somebody out to read it? Or is it more or less is what I'm getting at. I would
Well,
like
right now, if I put a new meter in right now, what we do, the $385 comprised of the meter and the antenna. So we hook it up, then they will be able to drive by and read it.
Yep.
But you're still gonna have to send somebody out on the route to drive the truck for $385.
Okay.
But if I had some part-time workers, those guys right here would be able to keep doing what they like, fixing leaks, hydrants, valves, whatever the case may be. They can still do their job while I just had the part-time to handle the meters. And that's all they would do. They wouldn't come in for anything else but meter reading.
And
Until we could
how-
have the funds to upgrade the system. Once we was able to upgrade the system, we wouldn't need the part-time as much.
How many part-time people are you thinking? You say 4?
I said 4, but I start out with 2. I mean, anything would be
Better than none.
Yes, sir.
I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yes, sir.
The 30% that they're not reading at all,
Mm-hmm.
how are we sending a bill?
Well, we did get a $21 bill until we change it out.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I know you said it before. What is our minimum bill should be for the county?
Just water?
Yes.
Just water, you're looking at around $35 to $40. So we getting there, but we're not quite there yet.
You'll never get there with the contract.
That's based off of the engineer report from Hazen and Sawyer.
Yes.
And that will make us, if we got to that will make us get more grants, opportunities for grant funding.
But it'll look better for you because it's you're taking care of yourself.
Yep.
But everything's not bleak. We gonna survive. We gonna
So
we
tell
gonna
us the
make
good.
it either
I thought you
way.
said you had good news.
I do.
Okay,
I
tell
do.
us that.
We have not had any main breaks on 74 since July 20th. Knock on wood. So apparently the pressure reducing valve seems to be working well for now. But I must reiterate to you again that this line is old. Ultimately, we're gonna have to replace it. But for the short term, it's okay. We're gonna move on to sewer now, and we got some sewer upgrades that are continuing on the west side of the county to accept the flow from Marshfield. Currently, Mr. Garrison has gathered quotes for pump replacement or rehab for 4 pump stations, which is Peach Gut, Goose Fork, Peachland Pump, and Brown Creek Pump Station. So that's still
You
underway.
said he's getting quotes on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some. One company, I think they decided they didn't want to bid on it because they was not the type pump they used to work with, so they didn't bid on it. We had Charles Underwood to bid. Miss Holly can tell you more about that. But had Underwood and another company, Terracotta or somebody, they bid on it too. So we're reviewing them now and gonna see what the best one is and go from there.
Is Union County assisting with paying for those pumps or not?
No.
I think, I hope I don't misspeak, but I think the Brown Creek, I think we repaired it ourselves.
Yes.
So the Brown Creek is good to go. And the other 3, we have quotes, we reached out, got 2 out of 3, and it looks like we are very close to making a recommendation and moving forward with those repairs. We're hoping they're gonna be less than $200,000 in repairs. So that's where we're at this point with those.
Once we get those repairs done, what is that going to do for our capacity?
Well, it'll just increase what you can get from Marshfield steadily, not all at one time. You still are not going to increase your flow per se per day, but your pump station will be able to handle more flow. So you still going to be rated at the same because of the pipe sizes.
So we're still going to be limited on capacity for Anson County citizens on the west side because we're still under the contract with Marshville.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, theoretically. Now,
Even though we're not taking that full contract.
But even though we're not taking that full amount, we're allocated to take it.
Okay.
So that means that hampers you when it comes to any industry on that side.
That's right.
And we got one more thing here with the sewer, and it's about a main lift station at the plant. Mr. Garrison wanted me to inform you about this, that it's a pump there that's going to need the discharge and the suction valves replaced. And a bypass will need to be installed on that.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Yes. He got it quoted 2 ways. First way would be just to fix the smaller issue, then come back and do a bypass again, or we can do it all in one lump sum, and that's around $340,000 to do it all at one time. And the reason why he says this is important because of a heavy rain event, the station will overflow, thus causing spills, and you're gonna get a notice violation. You're gonna have fees and all that occurring due to the spill. So it's not budgeted right now, but we asking you to please consider it. Since it's hurricane season, we want to try to go ahead and get ahead of it, be proactive instead of reactive.
Okay.
So do we have any questions about any of that?
Not on that sewer pump station, but I do on the 24-inch water main break.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned bypass, which made me have nightmares, but have we determined what caused or what potentially could have caused that 24-inch main break?
Well, we're thinking of 2 theories. Last time I talked to Mr. Tony about it, he was thinking that maybe a pump surge came on and put too much pressure on it and blowed it out, or an air hammer from somewhere did it. It wasn't the bypass itself.
And if it was a pump surge or an air hammer, water hammer, that would be the responsibility of the county, correct?
Yes.
Do we have any intentions to try to figure that out definitively?
Yes.
Okay. When do you think?
what we gonna have to do there is you're gonna have to put some recorders or something on the line coming from the plant, just to see what time the spikes were. I'm thinking more so a water hammer, just because earlier that day we had a main break on Standback Ferry that blew the pipe out the ground. So I'm thinking some water hammer came from somewhere. I don't know if it came from starting up a pump. Pump may have shut down wrong. I don't know, but that's what in my expertise, that's what I would say.
Okay. So you do not think there's any liability on the contractor's fault
No,
for that failure?
no, sir, I don't.
Okay. So, okay. I think that answers all my questions. That's a lot. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, I'd like to know, what was the date that the ADC tied into that sewer line?
Hold on, I can look at my email and tell you.
Yeah, I would like to know that.
While Chris is taking a moment to look at that, I would like to get your just verbal permission to move forward to try to do the sewer projects. Sewer does have, as of last year, has a healthy fund balance, because we've really not put a lot of money into the sewer in itself. So it does have a fund balance that I think that we can do these projects. Water, not, but sewer we do. Now, we could end up in a situation with water at the rate we're gonna start spending money in sewer, but we do have the money at this point for these repairs. I believe that we can move forward with it.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we make approval for the repairs in the sewer based on our finance director.
And we'll probably have to bring them back because of the amount threshold, because the county manager can't do anything over 150. So we'd like to just bring those back for your approval, so we can get moving on these sewer projects at least.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Ellaby to allow the utility department to move forward on, I'm assuming you're just gonna get the quotes and then bring that back to us.
What we'll do is we'll do like a quick evaluation of the quotes,
Yeah.
and then ask you, and we'll recommend a contract between on which ones they are. But we'll make sure that they're comparable and they're covering what the scope of work of the project is, and we will make a recommendation on the vendors and just ask for you to approve it, and then we will go from there.
Okay, so we're just giving you the approval to obtain those quotes now. So,
Yes.
So yeah, we have a motion by Commissioner Ellaby, second by Commissioner Mims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
From the email I got here, it was completed Friday, August the 14th. And I got this email from Adam Hogan, who is the engineer with Alliance, which is the company they use for the engineer of the sewer line.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You said it was connected on the 14th?
Yes.
And there was a discrepancy between two teams of Hayes and Sawyer and Alliance, discrepancy between two teams of engineers. How long has it been, I mean, is it up and running now? Is the water going through it?
No, they scheduled a test for Monday, August the 24th.
We gonna find out who's right and who's wrong?
No, I would like to suggest we make a motion that they do no testing, because they are there without permission. And so this is not up for a test. This is not up for to see who's right or wrong. We as a board of commissioners voted for that not to be connected. So therefore, no water should or sewer should run through those lines. I'm just saying I'm just saying, do we have to make another motion and a vote to keep that from happening, or how does that work? Yes, I made the motion. I remember that because I made it.
So we're waiting on the answer. Can we do it?
So how do they do any testing? Who has to cut the water on there? Or sewer?
They will.
They do it themselves. They have access to what?
Yeah, they have access to a hydrant to put water into Dellinger does, not Alliance per se, but Dellinger does. That's the contractor that's doing the work.
So who granted them access?
To do
whatever
get
they
water?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gave them access to get water from the project start.
They have a water permit or
Yes.
a water connection already.
Yes.
They have it, but
It's not tying into the gravity fed line.
No, it's not tied into the sewer. It's just for them to get water to do what they need to do, construction wise.
To construct what? That water line?
The sewer line.
The sewer line?
Yes.
So they still constructed it, knowing that they couldn't connect it, or was it already constructed?
They were constructing the water line the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The only discrepancy we have here is the tie-in point. That's where the problem is. Originally, they supposed to board up under the railroad tracks, connected to our Halers Ferry pump station. Now, this is my opinion. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking that project went over budget. So they found a shorter way to save money and hook up to the line at the same time. That's my thoughts. I don't have 100% proof on that, but
So can just anyone tie into Anson County sewer lines?
no.
How do you tie into a sewer line in Anson County?
You would have to get permission from us and the state.
From
which
who?
That should have been in the plans for the sent to the state.
So-
if that plan was sent to the state and the state rejected it, they wouldn't get the permit to tie it in.
From understanding, it was never sent to the state, correct?
The original plan was.
And what did the state decide?
The original plan was to bore up under, like I said, to bore up under the railroad track and hook it to the Halers Ferry pump station. That they had the permit for that, but they didn't.
Okay.
They don't have the permit to hook it into our sewer line as they have it previously constructed it now.
So who granted them access to connect it? They just did it
Basically,
with no.
original project was to eventually tie in. The issue here, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, is the location of where they did tie in.
yes.
That's right.
Our engineers, Hayes and Sawyer, disagreed with the Alliance engineers, and they said that that would not be the proper way because of the gravity-fed line.
That's right. And they were told they could tie into the Anson County sewer system according to their permit, whatever they had sent to the state.
But who gave them that okay?
Well,
If
Mr.
they were
Sau-
already told they couldn't do it,
Mr. Sauceman told them they could follow their permit.
which they didn't do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
right.
But see, at the last AEDC meeting, Mr. Brody was here earlier tonight, actually said that they had a permit. I've asked him for it multiple times. He has not provided it yet because he cannot provide something he does not have.
And for future clarity, Nick emailed them as well, and
Yes, so
we haven't seen a copy of it either. Nobody has seen a copy of this permit.
in early May, we received communications from Alliance that they were going to submit a revised permit for this revised location. I don't believe anyone on the county side has yet to see that revised permit. It's my understanding from AEDC that it has been issued, but I have not seen it to independently verify.
So everyone knows, I had extensive conversations with Hazen and Sawyer to clarify this, because I sent an email saying we want confirmation before anybody ties in anything. Because it sounded like they were giving, the Alliance people were saying, I'm sorry, whoever it was. Whoever was answering the email was saying that it looked like they had a permit to tie into our lines. And then I said, we would like confirmation of that, and I'd like to make sure that Hazen and Sawyer approve this tie-in before it is done. Brandon called me personally and said, we have not done this. It's two engineer firms that disagree with each other, is what he said. And so that's when I spoke with Mr. Saltzman, Manager Saltzman, and he agreed that they were not to tie in. And that was last week.
So, Mr. Forbes, is there any legal ramification that if we freeze the funding to AEDC at this point?
I'd have to look at the contract.
there is no contract.
There is no contract.
There is no contract signed. We've established that already. Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing, one of the major things I've been saying since I've been a commissioner. These are public funds, but you can't get an audit of it.
I'd like to review it. I know I don't want to do it, but I'd like to. You can do what you want to with your money.
Well, I
We have to
understand that. I just want to
reallocate
make sure
money. I
that
don't think we can spend it.
You're limited on what you can reallocate it for, but I'm pretty
That's
sure
what
you
I'm
can freeze it.
Well, that's my point. I make the motion that we freeze
Second.
any money of AEDC until we get further notice of what's really and truly going on. They stop doing stuff behind our back.
I second that
What's
motion.
their payment cycles on? I mean, we can talk about freezing it, but what?
If they're not being paid monthly, it doesn't matter. So I don't, finance would.
We are paying them monthly, and it's basically for the salaries that we pay them to operate. And then we pay them monthly for the sales tax allocation of the 524 sales allocation. And they get 1/3 of that. We do that by month. And that's 2 months behind, so the one that just will go out this week will be June of 26.
We pay the salary of the AEDC director, correct?
We,
Is that
we
correct?
appropriate money for their staffing, and I don't know how they fund that. So.
What I'm saying is, we pay for the staffing.
The money's appropriated
Yeah.
to them.
The money's appropriated, but we're paying it as their administrative staff. And I think it's
Essentially,
more
what essentially it's for their operations, which includes salaries, the rent on the building, all that good stuff.
Now,
What they have other money for is what they get from the state, which are for specific projects. That's the differential.
I know a lot of stuff has been talked about tonight. I would recommend that we look at this before you stop something.
Can you speak into that mic, please?
Yep. I know a lot of conversation information has come out tonight, but to stop a project like this, because I want to make sure they don't have a permit, because you just heard that Mr. Sossman said he gave permission for them to follow the permit that they have. They may have a permit from NCDEQ, they may not. I don't know. I didn't even know they had tied into the line. To make a reaction like this could open up to something, could be some legal ramifications that I'm not aware of right now. I just don't know.
Okay, so my question to that is this: at what point, if you have a permit in a county, do you furnish that permit? You don't have to furnish that to the county saying you're permitted to do what you're doing? I'm asking, you're an attorney. You're an attorney.
Yeah.
My mic is turned down a little bit. As an attorney, if I am permitted by the state of North Carolina or whatever branch to do a particular thing, especially as it pertains to water or sewer in a county, do I have to provide that permit to the county?
If it's asked for, yes.
Has it been asked for?
Today, but
I've asked for it. They can't. I have asked for it, and I will also say that I have talked to our consulting engineers, Hazen and Sawyer, that if an entity ties into a public water or sewer line without the proper permit, is it legal or illegal? It's illegal.
Okay. How long ago has it been since you asked for that permit?
Within the last 10 days.
Within the last 10 days. So therefore, I know you deal with permits from the planning side, Mr. Addison. If a permit was granted to them, are they required to furnish that permit to us?
I would say in this case, it would not be unreasonable for them to provide it to us, given that it's connecting to our utility system.
But wouldn't we have to be notified that they're connecting to it? If they're permitted to do, because it's our sewer line. So
I'm not sure
we
how
wouldn't
that
receive any
DEQ
notice.
form is filled out. If they filled out on their behalf and they were the recipient of the permit, the state may not have notified the county. So, prime example, when the county did its sewer extension to the mini mart on 74, because the county submitted the documentation, the permit was issued to the county. We were the recipients. If we weren't listed as a CC and agency on the application, state wouldn't know who to send it to.
But the county would still be notified of what's getting ready to take place within the county.
In an ideal world, yes.
I think we live in an ideal world.
Commissioner
We're handling county government.
Commissioner Elderman, we can give, I'll rescind my motion. They got to September 1st to the meeting to give us this documentation, or we'll stand. And Mr. Forbes, if you'll find out the legal representation of what we can and can't do, and we'll just deal with it on September 1st. It's 2 weeks.
They
Well,
are
Felicia-
connected. They are connected.
I know that's what we've heard. I won't leave
That
it.
here's our representative from our water
They-
department
they-
telling us
I've driven by
that
and
they
seen
are
it.
connected.
Okay, we needed a generator a while ago. We didn't get that either.
Well, I understood and that's because $400,000 was reappropriated to the same entity that is tied into our sewer line. And I'll just say this because I really want to leave because this is unreal to me. The state of North Carolina has failed us in multiple ways. Anson County right now, Board of Elections is out of place because we're putting it in the hands of the state of North Carolina. And now we're talking about a sewer line here in Anson County, and nobody knows nothing. And it was complete. I'm a commissioner. These are commissioners sitting here, and these people have tied into our sewer line, and this is supposed to be okay, and we don't know nothing. These are this is revenue that comes from the citizens that live here. It's not okay. I don't care who's behind it. Who I want to know, who are we protecting? Are we protecting the people that want to do what they want to do, or the people that live here? And it's just unreal. This is unreal. It appears that whatever the state want to do here in Anson County, some kind of strange way, they talking to somebody, but I'm telling you, it ain't me. Somebody sitting around this table or doing business for Anson County, they're well aware of what's going on because ADC has meetings that commissioners sit in. And I'm just telling you, this is disheartening and disturbing. And at some point, we got to do business right for the citizens of Anson County. Why are we protecting them? Anson County needs the protection. Our water lines are god awful. We had $400,000 we thought we could count on. And it's going to a sewer line project that we've already said we don't want connected our lines. And nobody's bothered by that. Can't give you the answers to that. We're talking about legal ramifications in a permit, and we don't know if we should hold off. We need to hold off because they went against our word and what we have said we wanted them to do. And if there are ramifications behind it, well, then we need to deal with it. This county has no chance of moving forward if we're going to continue to deal like this. And that's just the bottom line. And I will make the motion that we freeze our funding to the ADC as of now until we can understand what their real priorities and their business is for the economic development of Anson County.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Ellaby to freeze the funding for the Anson Economic Development Corporation as of today. We have a second by Commissioner Gatewood. Any other discussion on that?
Here's my discussion, or what I was going to ask. Here was my recommendation, is to research the matter more and come September 1st to the meeting and have all the facts, because I know we've heard that they say they have a permit, we haven't seen it. If I had to take my personal opinion, I don't know. I don't know where the permit is. There probably is not a permit. I don't know. There might be. But I'd like to know the legal constraints of it. Would it be too far to say on legal notice at this matter in time?
I want to make sure there's not any funds that they're in the middle of the date that we have already approved through whatever agreements we have with them.
Mm-hmm. We don't have any agreements with them. If we have an agreement with them, I would like to be made aware of it tonight.
Okay.
What agreements do we have?
Well, we have the prior contract, and I don't know if it has a rollover in it.
It has no. We've never had a contract with them. We've never had a contract. I know I'm right, and that's the problem. We've never had a contract. They've been doing what they want to do, and it's obvious they feel like they still can, and we have no need to deal with them unless they're going to deal with us on our terms. again, they don't deserve this kind of protection. They don't want a contract. We don't have a contract, so we're not held to do anything. They've already proven they don't care about what we think. They tied in our line, and we told them not to do it. Whether they have a permit or not, the director was just here. He couldn't make us aware of that. He gave me 31 inquiries, and we've been getting inquiries for the last 10 years.
All right, so I'm not trying to protect anybody here. I'm gonna throw that out there because you're talking
I
about
didn't say you.
protection.
I'm talking to the
just-
attorney. He said about a
I'm just
contract.
letting-
There
I'm
is
just-
now.
I was
We
trying
don't
to
have
talk
one.
to the attorney.
There were agreements in place when we set them up. We agreed to them in a partnership, and we set them up. We allow them to. We've been doing a course of business through funding them and all. Now, if y'all want to stop that, I'm just warning. There may be some reliances by other businesses that have been relying on that funding. It's in our budget. It's all that to be said. I'm not saying you can't freeze it. I'm saying I just want to make you aware that there may be some ramifications that I'm not aware of at this time.
I've been
And
here.
that was the reason why I pulled back my motion to September 1st to make sure that we're clear that Attorney Forbes has time to go back and review it. I'm all for it. I'm just here to tell you. But I want to make sure legally we're not going to get sued for just doing it tonight.
Well, here's my.
That's my only thing.
I agree
That's
with
my
you.
only thing.
I
But I'm
I
for
understand.
suspending the money because it's got to stop.
I
But
understand.
I just don't want to get sued either.
Well, here's my take on being sued, Commissioner Mills, and I wholeheartedly agree and understand your position on it. He said we have agreements and all of these other things. I've been on this board. December be 2 years. I've asked to see those agreements. They've never.
Clarify what I mean. We have a course of business that we've been doing with a group.
Is that a contract?
It could be led into a contract, yes.
Is
it
it, do,
could be.
do we have a contract with them?
I don't know of a written contract, but we have minutes that have recorded.
I don't think we have a contract with South Piedmont or the school system, but they get the same money.
Well, and here again, we say that, but they're incompatible one with the other. South Piedmont is a higher learning public education place that is a government entity.
I understand.
Public schools, that's a government entity.
I understand.
Anson Economic Development Corporation is a private entity.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, our dealings with South Piedmont and Anson County Schools, we're dealing with the government. We're dealing with ourselves.
We still appropriate the tax funds to those entities.
But they are government entities.
I understand. But
This entity is a private entity. And our county has done business with them without anything in writing. They've been funding them without any real expectation set forth by a Board of Commissioners, written and signed by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners and signed by a representative from the Anson Economic Development Corporation. So what ramifications can we fall in when we don't have anything written as a contractual agreement to say what we will do, what we want? In fact, we discussed it before that yes, we can choose whether we would fund them at any given time. I'm trying to figure out how's that conversation changed at this point. My motion still stands, and I'll wait for Commissioner Mills to return, but my motion still stands.
And my second still stands.
Okay. So,
If I may, just for a quick second, the allocation that we have right now for them is as of June 30th. It's the June sales tax allocation. And the next monthly appropriation isn't until September, the first week in September. So at this point, the only thing we have is what is due to them from June. And I think we have time to freeze and hold, if y'all want to freeze after the September 1st. I'll just hold the release for the September payment until the September 1st.
Well, Ms. Holly, honestly, in June, we were supposed to have a conversation with them about a contract. It's been 2 months. We laid that out earlier. Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to close out last year.
Which is going to affect your audit.
Which is going to affect my audit. There's one thing I need to
understood.
close out.
Well, for the sake of helping you, we'll do that and we'll freeze it as of whatever that date says forth
I
for
mean,
you.
September the 1st, I
Well-
won't release anything from this owed
Yes.
to them from July. They've got July and August already allocation. I won't release September's until after the September 1st meeting, and any other allocation they will have at this point. But at least we'll release June 30th, and July and August sales tax won't come until another month or 2 or 3 months. So that'll give you a little bit of time to really get all the facts and gather and make a decision. You won't have to freeze. I'll just hold it, and at September 1st, if you put it on the freeze, then
Yeah.
it'll just stay in my hold file.
Well, my motion still stands.
My second still stands.
So,
Just to clarify, your motion is to freeze them as of today, including
As-
the June appropriation.
I don't think they ought to get it. They had opportunity to sign a contract.
I just got to make sure what your motion reads.
I
So
mean, honestly,
That's fine. That's
I mean, I hate to put that work on you, but if they was interested, they should have signed the contract.
That's fine. I mean, I can hold it.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
problem with that. I
Okay.
just wanted to
Well,
make
yes,
sure
sir.
you knew what I had
Yes,
to
ma'am.
go out to them.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the motion is to freeze the funding to ADC as of today.
As of today.
The second
And second.
by Mr. Gatewood. Any other discussion on that?
so to go back to what she just said, you could make this same motion September 1st.
That's right.
And it would be the same thing, right? Also, going into detail, you're voting to freeze everything that was due for June and July.
Well,
Is
she-
what the motion stands right now, freezing everything that was due for the month of June and July through the sales tax,
Right
correct?
now it's the month of June. July's another month, so you have plenty of time
Right.
for July.
But the past due amount to them right now stands for June, and that's what we're
and she's
saying
saying
to
she
freeze.
don't have a problem holding it.
I mean, I can hold it.
Yeah, she don't
But
have a
we're-
problem doing it.
But the motion stands to freeze the past due amount right now. I just,
Yeah.
then that's why
Uh,
I
w-
still believe in waiting until September 1st until we have the full
That's my
factual
opinion
understanding
too.
of
I just
everything.
think we need to, in my opinion, I think I'm for it.
Yeah.
And just September 1st, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're going through the attorney legally, we're bound, we're good.
We don't have anything legally binding.
I
on us.
understand that, but I just want to make sure. I mean, just giving out, well, they're gonna get it anyway, just the sales tax is already there. Then
They're not. We can hold it. It's ours. That's what I'm saying. That's what she's telling us. She can hold it upon us voting to get her to do it.
Which is going to interfere with her audit. that
No,
she's in
she
the middle
said
of
she
doing.
don't have a problem. She can fix that. Is that what you said? I don't. I mean, hey, listen.
I can't close that one out.
I understand.
Because it's prior year.
Do you want to? Do you want to close out? Let me say this on behalf of the citizens of Anson County. This is what I'm gonna say. We're gonna agree to pay out funds from the county of Anson to an entity that disregarded this board's decision for them to tie into the county sewer line that engineers this county use citizens taxpayer dollars to pay, advised strongly we do not do.
All right.
And yet we find a way to still say they get paid. I just don't get it.
All right, so I'm gonna piggyback off of that.
I don't get it.
I'm going to piggyback off of that, since you said that, just for the citizens as well. What she just said, it can still stand September 1st. I'm going to say that I don't want to put any burden on a citizen for paying potentially, even if it is a small potential, of possibly getting into some type of litigation and costing the taxpayers more money in the court, okay? So that's why I'm withholding on saying that until September 1st. Because I don't want the
Attorney
citizens to
Forbes.
hold up any more tax money.
Yep.
You can foresee some litigation behind this?
Without a contract.
You say the right thing because the right people involved. I'm just telling you.
I
ain't saying that
understand what
you-
you're
I mean,
saying.
yeah,
So,
I understand what you come
We have,
Anyways,
we have a
can-
motion. We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Ellaby.
I could see where they may, file litigation to what they believe would be allocated to them.
The past due amount.
Right. Because from what I understand, the funds have been allocated to them. to vote
Already.
on, But you can vote to, you are wanting to vote to rescind that.
Yep.
I can see where some litigation would spawn from that.
Well, technically,
I
we
call
were
the
not
motion.
supposed to be allocating any funds to them
Call the
until
motion.
we had a contract. That was the board's agreement.
I don't mind voting for September 1st. We clear it out. He clears to make sure everything, that's just my opinion, to make sure we don't get any litigation. That's my opinion of it. I'm totally for it. September 1st,
Yep.
I'm fine.
So that's what the motion is, to freeze it as of today, and the second is as well by Mr. Gatewood, to freeze it as of today. All
When
in
did they
favor, say aye.
receive the contract, Mr. Anderson?
It was approximately 6 weeks ago, and then I believe it was in the second July meeting, you had asked for an update, and I told you that due to the ongoing water event.
No, I asked for the update in August. I think it was the first meeting in August, the last meeting we attended. Yeah.
I know at one point you had asked for an update. I told you we had not met because of the ongoing water event. We rescheduled it. The date was set. Between those working on it, had to pick a date that worked for everybody. So it is now set for this Thursday to hammer out the contract.
Now, wasn't this board, I'm just for clarity, to make sure I'm not wrong, did not this board agree that the funding of ADC would be predicated upon a contractual agreement? And didn't we
No,
decide
it
that
was
as a
approved
board?
in the budget. The money was all allocated in the budget approval. It was discussed withholding that. They were given a contract a week before we had to present sign a budget. So the budget was allocated. The money has been approved already.
But I asked that question during budget.
You did. It was brought
Right,
up, and we discussed it.
And we said that,
But we still approved a budget that allocated money to that entity.
which was a budget I didn't vote for. Right.
The
And-
majority
and
of this
which is-
board voted for it.
Right, but I want to make it clear, that I understood.
I understand. All right, so
okay.
we have your motion on the floor to freeze funding as of today, seconded by Mr. Gatewood. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. No. So the vote is tied 3-3, so the motion fails.
Yes.
Don't he vote
We have a tie-breaking vote, don't we? Who is the tiebreaker? Is it
Not
a
to my
tie-breaker?
knowledge, there is no tie-breaking vote.
So in his absence, he's voting for. Yes, he
No,
does.
he's recused.
He recused himself.
He's recused.
Oh, okay, that's
So-
correct.
So
we
it
did release
is
him.
a tie vote. The motion fails. So we can entertain another motion. We can address it September 1st.
I look forward to September 1st.
I think we address it on September 1st.
Having a lawsuit then.
The chances are less because
They don't have any grounds to sue us.
I know that, but
That's,
I'm just
that's,
saying what
Yeah.
he's doing that because of the people who
Okay.
involved. They can't sue you without a contract.
Okay.
Anybody know that?
Any other discussions for utilities?
That's unreal, though.
No, I don't. I don't have any.
Do we have any other
your
questions
report,
for
Mr. Harrington.
utilities?
Yes, thank you for your report.
All right.
But what I would do on behalf of the concerns is I will hold the September release until after the September 1st, okay?
We will discuss come September
Yeah,
1st
But
moving
I will
forward.
just hold it on my desk until September the 1st meeting,
Okay.
okay? We
Thank
won't be behind, won't be holding, but it'll be on time.
Thank you. All right.
Well, I make a motion that what she just said, no money is paid out, no decision is made on economic development to make sure we have that agreement on that.
So you want to make a motion that she doesn't pay anything prior to September 1st?
No, that what she just stated she would do, I would like that to be put in a motion. Could you come back? Because a lot of times we say stuff here and then, we leave this boardroom, anything happen. Just depends
So
on what's
basically
involved.
just not release the September allocation.
Yes.
I'm-
Because
I'm-
technically you're scheduled to release it on the
Yes,
first,
yes.
and we won't meet till that evening.
Yeah, we typically do it about the week before because
Right.
we want to make sure they have it in hand by September
Right.
the 1st.
So I make a motion that you
To
do
hold
not-
any
to hold
expense
it, yes,
or
do
any
not release.
allocation
Correct.
for the
I
month of
second
September.
Yes.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Ellaby to withhold any expense or any allocation to AEDC for the month of September until after we meet September 1st. Seconded by Commissioner Little Reed. Any other discussion on that
For the month of September.
for the month of September? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we got through that. All right, we're going to move on to our public addresses to the board. So there shall be a time set aside at each regular meeting of the board for public comment. Each citizen who wishes to speak during this time must sign up on a sign-up sheet prior to the start of the meeting. Each citizen shall be allowed 3 minutes for their presentation. All citizens are expected to follow proper decorum and shall not use profanity nor defamatory speech. The public is expected to remain seated except when leaving the room. Only presenters listed on the agenda or recognized by the chairman will be called to the podium to address the board. Commissioners are expected not to comment on matters brought to the board during this time, but to delay action or comment until staff has had an opportunity to research the subject matter and to report necessary and relevant information to all members of the board. So at this time, I'm going to call, I think it's Caesar Farron, maybe?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I got a couple issues. Westboro deserves better. We need to do better and we need to look better, especially wanting to get some investors coming to town to invest in a city. We have a lot of potential. We have this housing rehabilitation, I do agree, but we need to start putting homeless people in there. Some of these people are veterans. Some of them saying they need a place to stay and bathe. Another thing that I suggest as well, we have a lot of commercial buildings here vacant, and they have a lot of potential. We have over 50,000 trucks going east and west on 74. But guess what? These buildings are not truck friendly. That will bring millions of dollars into the city. Saying we're losing a lot of money. Another thing that I'm noticing too, as I'm walking, the sidewalks, they're uneven. We got grass coming out of. A senior citizen cannot walk with a walker or wheelchair because we have sand on the sidewalk as well. Our drainage system is clogged with sand all the way up. We have when it rains for 30 minutes, we got floods all over the place. In my neighborhood where I stay at, I do my best to clean and pick up all the trash to clean that out, but we need to do a little bit better. We do a lot of policing, but the thing is that these people, when they come home, they don't have a place to go to. I have some neighbors that they borrowing a station cord from the neighbor because they got no power. And some of these people are senior citizens. We need to reach out to these people. Another thing, we have all these vacant homes, and we're gonna have a cold winter coming up. And guess what? We got homeless people living in these homes. It could cause a fire. It could be a safety issue as well. We need to help our community. We're looking like a dump. Nobody's gonna come here and invest any money in us if we don't clean it up a little bit. That's all I have to say for right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that one's scratched out. So the next one is Charles Holly. And I get, Mr. Holly, I'm assuming this Wesley, I think it was Davis or Williams. I think it's scratched out. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. So.
I did get, real quick, Mr. Ingram here is going to give me 2 minutes, so I'll have extra 2 minutes, please. Shouldn't need to use it all. After all, we have sat here a long time, so.
Okay. So you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir. All right, so good evening, commissioners. I'm not going to hold you very long. I'm astounded about the things I keep hearing tonight. And I could point fingers all up and down. I'll tell you what I want. I want the citizens to get clear answers, and let's start moving to long-term planning without being, like Chris Harrington stated earlier, being proactive and not reactive. I'm kind of concerned that economic development can get their money, but the school system, they can't get their money. They need $3.5 million allocated to them for their capital needs that y'all are legislatively delegated to uphold. So I don't get how a rogue nonprofit organization can run and do what they want, but the school system can't get an extra $500,000 to ensure that the roof gets fixed and the HVAC's fixed. Y'all need to make an example out of somebody. They may be sitting in this room. They may not be. But I'm telling you, you need to make an example out of somebody up here. Or else you're going to lose control. What control you already don't have. So I'm going to leave my time rest for the rest of the Public, thank y'all for taking time to listen to me tonight. And I really hope that we can start better fresh on September the 1st with some better actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Holly. All right. Up next, we have Sheila Chambers.
Hello, everyone. Board of Commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My citizens. Good evening, members of Anderson County Board of Commissioners. My name is Sheila Chambers. I'm here tonight as a concerned citizen and taxpayer. I want to speak about two concerns involving the Anderson County Board of Elections. First, I do not agree with paying the interim director the full salary of $62,000. During a public press conference, he called his position a seat warmer. If that is how he sees his job, I do not believe the county should pay him the same salary as a permanent director who is responsible for running the entire office. The Board of Election office is already short-staffed. The employees who will remain there need training, help, and support. I'm asking you to lower the interim director's salary and use the money that is saved to hire needed workers and train the permanent staff. My second concern is Board of Elections Chair Kelly Cox Newton. The county also pays Board of Election members. Because they are paid with public money, citizens should be treated with kindness. Am I talking too low? Citizens should be treated with kindness, fairness, and respect. From what I have seen, Ms. Newton has spoken rudely and disrespectfully to members of the public. A chair should run fair meetings and treat everyone with respect. Even when people disagree, instead she often gives her personal opinions and keeps bringing up the former director when it has nothing to do with the matter being discussed. I understand that the commissioners may not be able to remove her directly. However, the county funds the Board of Elections and your voices carry weight. I am asking you to send a formal request to the proper officials asking that Kelly Cox Newton be removed as chair. This is not about political parties or personal feelings. It is about how public money is spent and how public officials treat the people they serve. I respectfully ask you to lower the interim director's salary, use the savings for staff and training, and support removing Kelly Cox Newton as chair. The people of Anderson County deserve an election office with good leadership, trained workers, and respect for every citizen. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Chambers. All right, up next, I think this is either Shannon or Sharon Massey.
Oh, she'll give me her minutes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that concludes our public addresses to the board for tonight. So at this time, we're going to move on to our manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As most of you know, there have been some folks in and out of the Board of Elections. And that's what I wanted to mention to you tonight, because there's a possibility the current interim director he's been out for several days since last week, and we're not sure exactly why. I think he clocked in twice last week. The person that has been hired by the Board of Elections as the assistant director, if you will, we have all of her background stuff back, fingerprints, drug testing, etc. It came back okay. So I think she's set to start the 21st, which is a Friday. And I have been asked to make sure that we can get her to start quicker, but I don't think we have a dog in that fight to where we can make anything happen. So that's just a quick update on where they stand.
Okay. Why could that person not start before the 21st? Who come up with that date?
That I'm not sure of. We got something today from the state, Parker Holland, and he's indicated that would be her start date.
Okay. So the county did not set that date as when they could start?
That is correct.
I just want to clarify. So we're okay. They can, whoever the hire is has completed whatever they need to do, we're not setting that date. The state is who set that date.
That is correct.
That's what I want to clarify. Okay.
And I had one thing to add too that's already been brought up.
Okay.
Going back to economic development, the question came up about the IGA, and it is officially closed, I think, as of a day or two ago. But I have reached out to Piggly Wiggly, and the building would be an appropriate size for them, but we would have to get someone to be their operator. They're all independently operated, even though it's franchise. Also, I have reached out to Ingalls. They have sent it up to their real estate division, which is what all of these folks do. And I have reached out to Aldi's, and I received a response back from Aldi's. I'll be glad to share with everybody that says we don't meet their profile. And I have reached out to the broker. If you'll remember, several months back, DG Markets was looking to locate close to where the IGA is located. I have reached out to their broker, and she says that Dollar General appears to no longer be doing DG Markets. I guess it's because of a profitability based on what she said. She said she would, however, recontact them to see if there was any interest.
Okay.
And if anybody has any ideas about another chain store, I'll be glad to contact them. The worst they can say is no.
Yes, sir. So just for the citizens listening, anyone in the audience, if there's a young entrepreneur out there who's looking to get into the grocery store business, Piggly Wiggly may have an opportunity for you as a franchisee with a building location, if anyone's listening that may be interested.
That is correct, and I can put them in touch via the numbers and contacts I have.
Okay. All right. Anything else from you?
That's it for me, unless any commissioner has a question.
Or any questions for the manager at this time?
Well, going back to IGA and Food Line being the only full-service grocery store, have we reached out to Food Line and asked the questions? One, what is their emergency response plan in the unlikely event there's an act of God that closes that building down for a week or 2 weeks? All right, good. Would you like for me to start
No,
over?
I heard your question. I have not reached out, but I don't know if Mr. Sossman has had any contact with Food Line.
I have not reached out to Food Line, but I can. That's not a problem.
I would like for you to do that, and I think the citizens would appreciate it. And there's also concern, as I stated earlier, about jacking up the prices on Anson County citizens. We need to make sure they are aware of that concern that we have.
I'll be glad to do it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sossman.
Yes, sir. I have talked to Walmart multiple times in the last 4 years. Well, not quite 4 yet, till next month. But I have reached out to them multiple times, and they have told me that they would do the same thing that I was told by Ingalls. They'd give it to their real estate division, which I have not heard back from the real estate division. So I guess they have decided. Usually, my experience is that if a Walmart leaves an area, unless there's a real compelling reason, they don't return.
Yep. I think that's the same response, correct me if I'm wrong, that Mr. Addison receives on a lot of retail stores.
Yes, that absolutely. And if the board would ever like a formal presentation regarding retail recruitment efforts, that can be arranged. I would say, you know,
4 census numbers that are in the state and everyone knows in the state, and they will correct them. I think that has a factor in on it too.
Sure.
And
Okay.
Median household income.
Any other questions for Mr. Sossman? All right, we'll move on to our assistant manager.
Okay, so some good news on the utility side is the State Water Infrastructure Authority, known as SWIA, via their State Revolving Fund Emergency Contaminants program, has offered the county for the PFAS study a $500,000 loan, which would be forgivable upon completion of the project. Now, the $500,000 loan would carry a 2% fee, which is $10,000. So spend $10,000 and get $500,000. That's assuming you complete the project. But this project, the PFAS study, it would focus on treatment options for pre and polyfluoroalkyl substances, which we generally just call PFAS. PFAS, or you sometimes hear them referred to in the news media as forever chemicals. They're synthetic chemicals that don't break down readily or easily, and will probably be the next generation's lead in the utility lines. But this PFAS study would have three major components. We would examine watershed and source water evaluation, PFAS trend analysis to see how our PFAS levels have varied over the past few years or decades, and then PFAS treatment technology assessment and plans to how we could upgrade our system to get ahead of the game in terms of addressing PFAS. So if it is the board's pleasure to accept those funds, it does require a resolution to accept those and proceed with the grant or loan, which would become a forgivable loan. There is a resolution in your packet if you've had an opportunity to review it, but that is the 30-second elevator pitch of the resolution.
It costs us $10,000. You said
that is correct
to receive the $500,000.
Yes.
Upon doing the study, do they give any indication as to what may come next if they discover the PFAS?
That would be a part of the Hazen and Sawyer figuring out a design system that would be able to treat it. So some of the, and it's in your packet on, I don't know what page it's on, but it's in the submission materials. They would be performing treatment technology selections to figure out what treatment would work best for the amount of PFAS we have in our source waters, and then how can we implement that in our current facilities.
And all that would be, the testing and then the ultimate facility would be done at our water intake facility or the filtration plant.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this is a grant/loan to do a study, not to actually make on-the-ground improvements.
Okay. I just don't want to spend $10,000 if we're not going to. We don't need to spend $10,000 to learn we've got a problem if we're not going to fix it. But as long as we're willing to invest in whatever the results come back, then I think it's worthwhile. So does the board have a consensus on how to move forward, whether to accept this grant?
That was going to be my other question. Will we be in a position to make the necessary corrections if we even went this route? So I kind of agree with you on that. You know?
We don't know what we're going to have to do, but I want to make sure that the board is aware that there may be some more action to be taken.
I would say if we took a long-range strategic planning approach, knowing what type of contaminants we have and what type of technologies to remove them would be beneficial whenever we may have the funds available to rehabilitate or build a new facility.
So that could play into a new facility or repairs.
Correct. Yeah, just hypothetically, and I'm not a utilities engineer or a chemical engineer, but had we done this study 5 years ago and figured, well, maybe we could change how the oh shucks, what's the name of the filter?
Yeah, we could have used a different type filter than what we're doing
yes,
now.
We've got some kind of, I can picture it in my mind. We could have changed how we'd done the filtering or something like that. So it just helps us get ahead of the game for any potential rehabilitations or new facilities.
And with the, I shouldn't say new occurrence, but with the oncoming claims with PFAS and everything, there's going to be more potential funds coming in to treat and go through with this PFAS.
I agree. I really think PFAS is going to be the next generation's lead. We're doing lead service line inventories and projects now. I think, in fact, I believe our attorney has us a part of litigation for PFAS and firefighting foam.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's coming down the pipe.
It's like, the end of the deadline for this work is June of 2028. Correct. 2 fiscal years away.
Yeah.
By the time we complete this, there could be more out there with the potential, but if we don't invest 10,000 in this for that $500,000 study, you know, 2 years from now, the money may not be there anymore for the finding of PFAS. It may have bypassed us and gone to the treatment of PFAS by that point in time with the state and federal government.
Super Pulsator. That's the name.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I know $10,000 is $10,000. But,
I know we need to ask Holly. That's a lot to us right now.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Is our finance director still?
She stepped out for a second, I
Okay,
think.
I can't see back there.
I know she has been in communication with Hazen and Sawyer about how to bill it. I don't know if the finance director's ever given a formal recommendation to proceed or not, but I believe the county manager.
Yeah, it's, you know, I know we've talked with Hazen and Sawyer, which worked to put the application together, and they have recommended that we should take the 500,000 because all it's going to cost us right now is 10,000 to find out. There are landfills, usually ones that are privately operated, although there are some that are publicly operated, that are actually investing in equipment to mine and treat their PFAS. And there are some counties and cities not too far removed from us that actually have PFAS problems now in their drinking water. And that's one thing that this would help us determine long term whether we have PFAS in the groundwater, which could reach our potable water source, to the river. And if we do, then we need to figure out a way to mitigate it, because otherwise, as Mr. Addison said, it's the forever chemical. It's like the new lead copper problems that we have been addressing.
So it's your recommendation?
I would say accept the 500,000, and then when we get the results, we'll know what we're facing. Other than that, some board a year or so, 2 years from now, it could be faced with some PFAS problems that we could discover and start working toward eliminating.
So will it be a lump sum that you get it, or will it be over time?
That I do not recall. I'd have to go back through I want to say it's lump sum because it's a loan. It's initially a loan for 500,000, converted to a 100% forgivable grant upon deliverables.
Now, here's my one binding. It says, subject to the terms and conditions. I mean, we have no doubt that we can follow these terms and conditions, right?
Yeah, I have faith in our engineers.
All right, okay.
That's what I was going to ask. So we just have to make sure we go step by step and do everything right.
Yeah, this will be handled in-house with our engineers, done by the book. Permits will be received.
But I don't want to talk about permits right now. I was doing good. I was doing real good.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve this $500,000 project.
Make a motion to accept this resolution accepting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. O'Leary to approve the resolution for $500,000 for a PFAS study, seconded by Commissioner Mims. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Perfect. Thank you. Next, just wanted to update the board and the citizens. Our VSO will be conducting a Veterans Coffee House this Wednesday, August 19th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's an opportunity for veterans to get together, have a cup of coffee, just talk about their experiences, any needs they may have. So it's Wednesday, August 19th, 9 to 11 at the Lockhart Taylor Center, which is at 514 North Washington Street. So if anyone wants to attend that, a great opportunity to network with other individuals who've served. And then if the board would allow, I just wanted to circle back to an item from the prior meeting. It's not on the agenda, but just wanted to see if there's any updates at the board's pleasure regarding the deed restrictions on the old hospital site. Mr. Sossaman's been working with several of the county staff and attorneys to get that ball rolling. Just need to know what the board's pleasure is on any deed restrictions pertaining to that property.
Yes, we decided at last meeting that we would table it to this meeting. So what's the board's consensus on moving forward?
I'll make a motion that we accept the deed restrictions and move forward with selling that property on Gov Deals.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Gatewood to, I'm going to say enforce the deed restrictions that were presented by Mr. Addison and move forward with listing the property on Gov Deals for sale. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Leary. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. So I'll convey that to the attorney. Once they get the deed issues sorted out, we'll then need to hire a surveyor, which will put out the bid to subdivide that property. And then from there, I'll bring you a new resolution to approve the selling of the property on Gov Deals. So,
okay,
be a process to go through, but we'll get there.
And one quick thing.
Yes, sir.
It's economic development. I would think that Commissioner Gatewood would agree, because one of the properties that he's pushed us to sell closed yesterday. The old water operations center, and the check was delivered, actually picked up later that afternoon by Miss Adams, and it is in the bank as we speak.
Excellent. That is really good news. Thank you very much.
And whenever I went down and signed the paperwork on behalf of the county, she is, as Mr. Addison said, that she's ready to start work on the old hospital site.
Excellent.
And
Thank you.
we have had a lot of interest in it from different developers and brokers.
Okay, it's great news. All right, anything else for the managers? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. The only thing I was going to mention was, and most of you are probably aware that, the NCACC conference is this week held in Durham. So hopefully you've got your arrangements made with Ms. Adams. But other than that, that's all I have for the chairman's report. So I will move on to commissioner concerns.
Make a motion, we move into closed session.
We do have one item regarding personnel for a closed session. So we have a motion to enter a closed session by Mr. Gatewood, second. By Commissioner Ellaby. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
I know, right? I was hoping.
I started just to recuse myself and leave. I should have. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. What we've allowed to happen in this county is amazing to me. This is amazing. It's getting better by the day, better week.
Okay, Mr. Gatewood.
Make a motion that we come out of closed session.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Gatewood, second by Mr. Mims to come out of closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're now back in public session. This time, any other business to conduct?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make one note about, recently we had some state board of election officials visit Anson County. I was not notified of them being here. I was not invited, and I would love to have participated and heard their briefing firsthand. So maybe I was the only commissioner that did not get that invitation. And
You were
so-
not. I didn't either.
All right.
I didn't either. I didn't receive it either.
Okay. So the majority of the board did not get an invitation, and it would have been very appropriate to issue the invitation, and then it's up to us whether we attend or not, but I would have loved to have been there. In fact, I saw one person in the meeting that I went to county manager school with, and I would love to have greeted that person, but didn't have that opportunity.
Okay. We can relay that information to the Board of Elections staff. Any other business to conduct tonight?
I'm sorry.
No, go on.
No,
Go
I'm
on for
fine.
yours.
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to say I attended the elections board meeting last Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. It was last Tuesday, and the chair stated that the board, the BOE didn't have an email, but he had his regular email, but he didn't have the email where they send the comments to, and she wanted to know why the county was taking so long to get the email in place. You can't talk in public session anymore, so you have to write an email. So I just wanted to put it out there that it's a process that you have to do. You can't just call one day and think they're gonna show up in the next hour. You have to send a ticket to IT. They serve the whole county. It's just not the state board. They serve the whole county when it comes to IT issues. So whenever they get time, they will come and assist you with your needs. But for them to say that they're taking too long, that was incorrect, because Barry, Gerald, and Dwayne, they have to go around the whole county. And I just wanted to correct that, because that was not right. Thank you.
I'm assuming Mr. Saltzman or Mr. Addison, I'm assuming, have been in contact with them to notify them of the policy of how to get that request handled? Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. Any other business to conduct? Hearing none, I'll
Make a
entertain
motion, we adjourn.
All right, have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Ellaby, second by Commissioner Little Reed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.